go against Israel are the reliable ones always. Why is that?
Okay, so I'm not saying that.
You
I've
guys
never
never
said
looked at
that.
someone that went against Israel and said, no, 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 they're not reliable. We can't trust them.
Wait a second, Jonathan. I've been following Haaretz News and I've been promoting their news for a long time. There was a study on how reliable they've been in conflicts. They are pretty reliable. They actually report both sides, which is why the Israeli Ministry of Intelligence threatened to shut them down today, because they were revealing what the IDF have been saying and what Shin Bet have been saying. That's how good they are. They are so good, they're wiping the floor clean. Sorry?
So they did threaten to shut them down. So factually, what happened today is
okay. So go to his tweet, people.
Habiba, they said they're going to stop publishing ads in the paper. That's not the same thing as saying they're going to shut them down. Israel actually.
I think you guys have to go to the tweet where he threatened to shut it down. Okay, so
go ahead and
this
find
is
the
them
tweet.
saying in their
Just
own
get
words.
the tweet, Habiba.
Yeah, sure. So again, you can't discredit a guy who's gone and
a tweet doesn't prove
debunked
anything. I want actual news. I can tweet any goddamn thing. I can tweet I won the lottery. Okay.
Tweet says
okay,
the fucking King of Mars.
Okay, let me ask you
Jonathan.
something, Jonathan. Who do you trust in terms of news in the US?
In person.
Say no, come on.
Yeah, in person. That's the truth. That's true, right? So I'll tell you how I'm able to decipher through the bullshit and the factual information. Right, very simple. We do spaces like this every single night. Okay, on both Twitter and Clubhouse, we get a good 10,000, 12,000 people to come in both spaces. Okay, and then we hear from people on the ground. We hear from people who really know about the situation on both sides. We let them go at it, just like you're debating liberty right now. And then we, as the audience, because again, I'm just like anybody else in the audience. Sometimes we listen to what you're saying, and it's easy to call bullshit on somebody that's stumbling on words or all over the fucking place. It's just super easy when you have two people going at it against each other. That's how we get our news. I'm not listening to fucking Al Jazeera because, again, Al Jazeera is ran by the Qatari government, right? The Qatari guys are the ones hosting freaking Hamas right now. Hamas leaders right now in the goddamn 4 seasons. I'm not listening to CNN.
Of the US.
Right. It's not the point. That's not the point here. Even better reason for me to not listen to them, right? So that's how we get our news. Okay. That's me, Jonathan. And I don't want to speak for the rest of the people here, but I think that's the proper way to do it. Let the people give you the information. Let them go back and forth, and you can see who's on some bullshit, right? So, Habiba, let's get to the topic. Let's bring it to today. Al SHIFA director arrested. Okay.
Yes, crazy shit.
Al SHIFA tunnels have been uncovered. Okay. All that information is out there now, right? Now I'm going to ask you the question. Okay.
Don't forget the power that they're being powered by the hospital.
Yeah, we already get. She knows this stuff, right? Habiba, I'm going to ask you a question real quick, just to test your credibility right now. Okay, just keeping it real. Who do you believe is the main cause of the suffering of the suffering of the Gaza people, Hamas or the IDF, based off of the information that you've seen as of today?
Israel has been occupied.
Did she break up? I can't hear her right now.
She broke up.
Notice that deflection there, Nelson? She wants to run from the question.
Habiba, you still here? Guys, can you hear me on Twitter? Just flash your mics or something.
Yeah. She probably received it.
We hear you, bro. We hear you.
She doesn't have good Wi-Fi in the bank. She's
got it. She's got to respond to that, man. We listen. There's no conversation if we aren't able to call shit what it is, right? I mean, there's just so much proof right now. I mean, like, you got to be blind to not be able to recognize the proof. I mean, Catherine, she probably sipped something today. You know what I'm saying? She probably drinking on something today to not. It's either somebody slipped a perk in your turkey or something. You know what I'm saying?
I told you I didn't celebrate.
Maybe that's the problem.
Nelson, may I say something?
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about it while we wait for her.
Great, because I heard what she was about to say. The same things like Hamas leaders when they were in interview and people was pushing them to declaim Hamas and ask them if Hamas is a terrorist organization. So they start the same sentence like Habiba started to say, that Israel were occupied in Palestinian for 75 years. This is the answer they are saying all the time. It's so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even want to talk about 75 years. I just want to talk about what we're seeing today, right? When people start bringing up all this history shit, fucking 75 years, 3,000, dude, I want to talk about today, right?
Nelson, can I say something, please,
Let's
about
talk about it.
today?
Rock out.
Today. Okay, so I have a question for that girl that was talking pro-Palestine.
She just slipped down.
Question,
She just slipped down. She'll probably be back up in a little bit.
My question to the room, anyone pro-Palestine, why did Hamas forbid the International Red Cross to check on the hostages? There was an agreement today, not talking about 75 bullshit years ago, today. The agreement that the hostages would be released, I don't know, 13 Israelis for like 39 Palestinians, something like that. And part of the agreement, besides the ceasefire, which Israel agreed to, was that they would allow the International Red Cross, not the Israelis, International Red Cross, to check the hostages. Guess what, Nelson? They forbade it.
Yeah.
You tell me why.
Mustafa.
Can I respond to that, please?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
okay. I want to respond to that because I have a theory about this that could be completely wrong, but I knew that they would do this because I don't think, and it's based on some videos that I've seen where some of the hostages that are counted in the 200, what they claim are 237 remaining alive, right? Have partially missing limbs. Okay, so my guess is that Hamas doesn't have nearly as many live hostages to deliver as they claim. And I knew they would renege on this because they don't have the goods, unfortunately, to put it crudely. And that's another reason I think they have to do this piecemeal instead of, if they had 237, they could do 50 right away and that would buy a lot of goodwill. Or they could even do 10 right away or 20 right away. The fact that they're milking this is a desperate move to buy time by people who don't have the goods. This is a negotiation tactic, we see in business when the other side doesn't have the goods. And, when we pack up and we go, we're like, okay, we're not wasting our time here. But I mean, I understand these are lives at stake. So I'm not saying pack up and go. That's not what I'm saying. But my guess is, to the lady who just asked the question, that the reason is because the Red Cross workers would go and they would see, oh, the actual number of live hostages right now is X. It's not 237. And Hamas's bargaining power would be much lower then. That's what my guess is.
Luckily, don't want to give up their position either. They don't want to give up their
question. May I ask a question?
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
I jump in with a question real quick. I want to go to Habiba, though.
My question is this. Here's my question, and I really need somebody to educate me. So, as regards to the hostages, this is a swap. This is not Hamas giving up hostages to buy time. This is Hamas saying, if I give you 10, 12 of your hostages, you give me some of the Palestinian prisoners that you have. So this is how this deal is constructed as far as what I've heard now. So here's my question. If that's the case, if they're swapping, how is the goal to end Hamas when you're giving back, you're giving Hamas back Hamas?
No. They're not Hamas. Most of them are not even Hamas.
Yeah, real quick. That's incorrect, bro. The people that Israel sending back, dude, they're women, they're children. I mean, bro, they're not Hamas at all, right?
Okay.
And but check this out, right? I feel like it's just listen, Hamas, in my opinion, Hamas doesn't give two fucks about the people in Gaza. They don't give two fucks about those women, those children. Hamas is trying to buy some time. For what? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get their leaders out of there or whatever, right? They're trying to buy some time for something. They don't give a fuck about those innocent women and children. They give two fucks about them.
Nelson, the part of the agreement is that their leadership gets to be released and go to Yemen. That's what essentially that they want to get them out of the country. And M can speak to that if I don't know if he's awake. I know it's late for him.
Wait, one second, Leroy. Stealth, speak on that a little bit more. I didn't know that. Speak on that a little bit more.
Yeah, we just got a status update in an earlier space. And essentially, the Hamas leadership wants to try to broker a deal where they, for additional hostages as well, where they get transferred, which is their theory. Let's see if it happens through Egypt out through a different border crossing, let's say, and get flown to Yemen, so that Hamas can preserve the remaining part of their leadership. That is what they want, because they do not want the extinction of that leadership, apprehension or otherwise.
And Israel agreed to this?
No.
This is not an agreement. This is a theory by one Palestinian journalist that says that after the 5 day of truce, this will be the political proposition sent by Hamas to the government of Israel. This is not being negotiated right now. This is not announced right now. It's a theory. It's just a theory that one Palestinian journalist highlighted.
Man, in my opinion, man, Israel should bomb. You know what? Let me keep my mouth shut. Okay, Habiba,
Good timing, Nelson. I am sorry, my battery died, so like that's why I jumped off. It wasn't intentional. I wasn't trying to run.
All
Okay.
good.
Okay. So
All
what
right.
do you want to say? What are we talking about? Like the fact that they've arrested the director of SHIFA?
So here's my question, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen all the proof so far. Everything you've asked for, they've given you. Okay. They gave you the tunnels. Okay. They gave you videos of the tunnels. I mean, in-depth tours, right? They've given you all the information regarding the CCTV footage. They even released some unreleased October 7th footage. They've given you a lot of shit right now. My question to you is very simple. Do you now believe that the people in Gaza are suffering as a result of Hamas, not the IDF? Do you take that stance or not?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to dice this, right? So first of all, Hamas operate in tunnels about 60 to 80 feet down under the ground, right? And they've got hundreds of kilometers of these tunnels. There was an Israeli prisoner that was kidnapped years ago, Gilad Shalit, and they traded him for 1,000
During the
prisoners.
ceasefire, by the way. It was a ceasefire. They
Sorry, I'm
killed him.
talking.
Mariah, mute up.
Yeah. So, and if you explore the views of these folks, it's amazing, right? But anyway, so Hamas is operating in these subterranean tunnels, and they have been doing so for some time. So why are most people saying that this is an attack, an Israeli assault on the population, on the health system? Why is the Médecins Sans Frontières saying that they're disabling all the hospitals and that they're gunning down, ambulance workers, doctors? They've killed over 200 medics in the last month, right?
You're not answering my question though. Respectfully.
Yeah. So whose fault is it that Palestinians are suffering? There's 75 years of occupation and apartheid. And it's leading to this situation where Palestinians are dispossessed and oppressed. Is it their fault that they're being oppressed? No. They're under siege.
Habiba, you're capping.
Can I respond quick?
Right
Can I respond quick?
Who am I speaking to?
No, one mic on Habiba, right? So I'm going to ask you a more direct question.
Sure.
The Gazans suffering today, right?
Yeah.
Tens of thousands killed, okay? Millions displaced today, okay? Fuck last year, 2 years ago, 70 years ago. Today, the one suffering today is as a result of X. What is X?
The Israeli occupation and siege of Gaza.
Gosh, fuck. Okay, so Habiba, tell me this.
If I put you in a prison for 15 years.
No, we'll debate it. We'll
years, sorry.
We'll talk. I promise you, we'll talk about it, right? But I'm going to ask you one more, okay? Lord mercy. So, do you still see Hamas as a resistance?
I've never said that they were. Like, I've never argued in those terms whatsoever, at all.
So you do agree that there's some terrorist motherfuckers?
I'm not arguing about any of that. I don't even think it's not even on the table. The issue is Israel has promised for over 50 years. Can I just tell you something?
Just make it clear. Just make it very clear.
No.
Distance.
There is a plan, right, by Israeli prime minister after prime minister to eradicate the citizens of Gaza, and they are carrying this out. That is what you're witnessing. This has got nothing to do with any group that anyone is paying, that Netanyahu happens to be paying. Yeah? This is the plan to eradicate and expel all of Gazans. So if they're not going to kill them, bomb them, starve them, they will get a way to kill them. They will find a way to destroy these people. It doesn't matter what pretext they're going to use, they're going to do it. This is what all of these op-eds, what all of these leaders are talking about when they're saying, yeah, we're going to commit like crimes against them, pestilence, we're going to wipe them out, we're going to starve them, besiege them. They're just doing exactly what they said they were doing. That's what you're witnessing right now.
Happy
Nelson, can I
Thanksgiving,
ask you a
everybody.
question?
Yeah, well, it's a crazy way to have Thanksgiving, man, because the bombings have increased in advance of the ceasefire.
Oh, please respect me. This is an American holiday, right? We're in America. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody that celebrates Thanksgiving. With that being said, let me go to who wants to have a conversation with Habiba? Just unmute your mic and I'll pick somebody. Let's go.
Nelson, give me.
I do.
I got a question for the group.
All right, let's go to Nog real quick. Nog, rock out.
Okay, I'll be quick here. Okay, Habiba, I know we can agree on the fact that Israeli civilians were killed on October 7th, right? I'm not going to get into ovens or anything like that. We can agree on that. Second, there were Hamas militants that went back into Gaza, and we know there's videos. They post the videos of RPGs on their shoulders themselves, showing that they're in civilian clothing, operating in civilian areas. So we can agree, again, every war has civilian casualties, and it's always sad. Always, every single life, we can all agree on that as well. But when you muddy the waters and operate in civilian areas, which we know they do, there is no military buildings in Gaza that they operate from, that's going to muddy the waters more, and it's going to lead to more civilian deaths. Can you at least agree on that? I'm not saying every strike from Israel has been justified, but when you operate in civilian clothings and you have it's beneficial for your PR campaign to have civilians die, you can understand how that makes this more complicated. Can you at least agree on that?
Wait, when you say it's beneficial for the PR campaign for more civilians
I'll
to die,
explain. I'll explain that. So,
yeah.
Your average Hamas militant, I don't think wants to see civilian death. But in terms of who benefits and who has incentives to have civilians die, they're the only ones that have that incentive. I don't think Israel has any incentive to kill civilians because they lose the PR campaign every day because of that. And Hamas, by infiltrating themselves within the civilian population, are gaining clout and are gaining allegiances worldwide by people seeing that on TV. So they're incentivized to continue this vicious cycle by operating in civilian areas. And then just a second.
I mean, you're talking about incentives, but then you're talking about actual policy. The whole of the Israeli cabinet have now said that they want to kill all of Palestinians. They regard all of Palestinians, even the children.
Habiba, you know that?
Even the children, they've said that they regard as terrorists.
Habiba, you're in a tough spot.
Okay, I'm going to start quoting you. If you guys don't believe me, let's start quoting them. Why don't we do that? Why don't we start quoting the Israeli government and what it's saying right now?
So that's not the
right
official
about how they're
policy.
going to kill all civilians.
Pin it to the space if they actually said it.
That's not the official policy of the Israeli government.
I'm going to go for it. If it's coming from your cabinet, it's a policy. Okay, that's the nature of a cabinet. It speaks for your government.
Habiba, I mean, listen, man. Some of you guys do a lot of dancing on this stage. I'm not gonna lie, man. It feels like we're in a strip club sometimes, hearing some of the bullshit you guys be talking, man. Unfortunately, I don't have $1 bills on me, so
and
I can't entertain.
Nice asses either, by the way.
I'm saying, I mean, like the dancing is crazy. This shit is simple as hell, in my opinion. Okay, Hamas attacked Israel October 7th. Boom. Okay. Israel deserves to respond to Hamas because it is a sovereign state. Facts. Okay. Hamas hide behind civilians in Gaza. Facts. Hamas.
None of those are facts, Nelson.
How is that not a fact when these guys who happen to be their military, quote unquote, dress in civilian clothing? How is that not hiding amongst them?
They don't have
so you first premised it and you said that Israel has a right to defend itself. But it is a belligerent occupant, right? It's a belligerent occupier.
It is still a sovereign state, though.
Hold on. But when you talk about defense, they're occupying the territory. So it's like Russia. When Russia occupied parts of
the
Crimea,
it does not recognize the parts that were attacked by Hamas's occupied territory.
Hold on. Is Russia occupying part of Ukraine or not? And do Ukrainians have a right to resist that?
Like the international community
recognizes Why isn't it the same thing?
The part of Israel that Hamas attacked is recognized as part of Israel, not part of the West Bank.
Is Israel occupying Gaza?
They attacked mainland Israel and they murdered 1,200
Is Israel occupying Gaza? Is Russia occupying Crimea?
Israel has no. Israel was before October 7th. Israel had no troops in Gaza. Zero.
It was occupying it by law, by international law. right? So when you're talking about a
so
belligerent
are you
occupier
going to tell me?
attacking its own
Are you going to tell
occupation,
me that Montenegro is occupied because it's
sorry,
surrounded on all sides?
what?
The number one rule of occupation is having boots on the ground in Gaza. I mean, we can
No, that's not actually
okay.
the number one rule.
That
The
that
reason
is
it's
the number
regarded
one
as a
rule.
military occupation, the
Military
reason
is
it's
civil
regarded
control.
as an occupation by international law, by the UN, by the ICG, by the ICC, by
None
every
of them
international
say those
body in
things
the
you're
world.
claiming. None of them. You're just making that up and making facts up, which is
Actually,
what you
no, I'm
guys do
not. Go
typically.
and Google it, people. Is
You're
Israel the
literally a
occupier
sovereign
of
We
citizen
don't,
Palestine?
of
Yes.
the Palestinian
Habiba, we don't
cause.
go to Google University.
Habiba, you are the sovereign citizen of the Palestinian cause, making up random facts as you go, throwing
Okay, Sean,
people
what's
that
the
don't
basis for
exist
you saying
together.
that Israel doesn't occupy Palestine?
Are
What is the
you
basis
an
for it?
innocent road pirate, Habiba? Are you
So
an innocent
you don't
road
agree with
pirate?
you don't agree with the
Are you
US?
being harassed? Are you being harassed by the road pirates?
So Sean, you disagree with US policy that says it is occupying
I
Palestine?
disagree with your fake make-believe nonsense of laws that don't exist.
Okay, so you telling me? So on what basis are you saying that Israel is
You
not
don't just
occupying
get a
Palestinian
wave
territories?
a wand
But
and be like, the
no one was there.
IRHC says this,
Guys,
this, and
Sean
this
is
should be a law.
talking. Sean is talking not complete
So they are an
nonsense.
occupying force in the West Bank,
Thank
but they
you,
were not in
thank
Gaza.
you.
Okay, they were not in Gaza. Clearly, they're an occupying
Yeah, I
Right.
force.
want to. May I say something?
So
So many
again,
people are coming. Khafifa, listen, honey. So many people
I'm not your
coming from
honey. First
out.
of all,
Okay, you're Habiba. It's you know what it's been in Arabic or not? Anyway, yeah, probably right. Anyway, so many people are coming out of Israel and out of Gaza, and they are going from space to space and saying lies, just like you. You haven't been in the area. You're just talking because
so
you read some
Moria believes that
material.
Moria actually
Yeah,
believes that
I told you
Israel
already
will
that I've been
ethically.
in Gaza and I've
She
been in
believes that
Israel. I
settlers
used to
don't
live in
shoot.
Israel.
She believes that settlers
Just a
don't
second,
shoot Palestinians every day. She
just
doesn't
a
believe that,
second,
guys. She actually doesn't
just a
believe that.
second. I am a good an example for somebody that from the region because
Yes, you don't believe in settlers, do you? Shooting people,
can
right? You
you
don't think that
please
they do that every
stop?
day.
You guys got to
Can
get
I
Habibi
please
to stop
stop?
interrupting.
There's
Okay,
not the money in the world to
I
make that
just want to say that I am a good an example because I've been in Gaza, I've been in Israel, and I've been in the West Bank, I've been in Egypt, and I've been in Jordan, and I've been in so many places in the area. So I know the area very, very well. And when I'm speaking, I'm coming with fact. Where is she? Oh, she's here. So when you're coming and telling us what's going on here and what's going on over there, but just because you were reading in Haaretz, so yes, you are wrong because the Haaretz, it's something that Israel is not taking effect. Any like things that happen in this newspaper is for real, you know. And the things that are writing in English and the things that are writing in Hebrew, it's two different things because I know this newspaper and they are liars.
So Moria, so earlier in a space you said that settlers do not shoot Palestinians and they do not terrorize and they do not try
What
and
do settlers have to
take
do
their
with what's
land.
going on with Gaza and like this
Sean,
whole war?
Sean, that's the whole
She
fucking
likes
point,
to
right?
make
No, that's the whole
salad.
fucking point.
Yeah,
Always
she wants to dance around the
no.
subject.
All right, one
Yeah,
Which
always.
subject? What are you talking? It's the same
guys,
subject.
everybody mute out real quick. Okay, so let's get one mic on Habiba. Let's get one mic on Mariah. Okay, one mic on Habiba and Mariah. But Habiba, you are doing a lot of dancing. I gotta give it to you.
They keep interrupting me, bro. I mean, they say I'm interrupting, but I don't even get the chance to say because Sean's
Pick
just
one.
spouting and he doesn't know
Habiba,
what he's talking about. Literally doesn't know what he's talking
Habiba.
about. So
No,
back to
it's because
Moria.
if you're talking about
Back to
Yeah,
Gaza,
Moria.
stay with Gaza.
Back
If
to
you're
Moria.
talking
Mute it.
about
Back
the
to
West
Moria.
Bank, talk about the West Bank and don't
Right.
make a
So,
salad.
so the reason I'm talking about an Israeli genocide of the Palestinian people is because it's not limited to Gaza. Israeli settlers backed by the IDF, backed by Israel, literally going around shooting and attacking Palestinians on their land, in land that is theirs. And this is something that Moria said the other day that she doesn't even think is happening, right? So this is how deluded this panel is, that you're listening to people who are denying what the world is seeing and what Biden
Habiba,
himself condemned a couple of weeks
those are
ago.
regular crimes, and people that do that get
That's a regular
arrested and
crime.
get convicted. Yes, there's murder that goes on in the United States
And
and
they're
all over the
convicted.
world, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, and they get convicted.
Lev, just
Exactly.
a second. I want to
Okay,
tell you
that's
that
cool.
I've
That's
been.
cool. If that's a regular crime, why did Biden describe it as terror attacks in the last couple of weeks?
All
Why
right,
is it that the
Habiba,
US has said
Habiba, calm down real quick. It's Nelson. Just calm
yeah,
down real quick. Okay. Let
yeah.
me get in here. Okay. So here's the thing, right? When we're focusing on one point, somebody moves it to something else, and then you guys jump in, add to that something else, and it gets moved to something else entirely. Let's bring it all back, right? We were talking about Israel being a sovereign state, and you were essentially saying they did not have the right to respond to Hamas because it's an occupied territory. They're occupying Gaza's territory. That was what you said. Let's bring it back
No,
to the start. Is that correct?
No, I didn't use those words. I said that it's not
Okay.
acting in self-defense because it's a belligerent occupant, according to the UN.
Okay. So are you saying that Israel did not have a right to respond to the attacks on October 7th?
It is on its own occupied territory,
Just asking you a
right?
yes
So
or
it's
no
not, the
question.
framing of it is incorrect. The framing of it is incorrect.
It has a
Okay.
right to reply, not declare war.
Okay,
It is a law and order
Joe,
issue
give
because
me
it's an
1 second,
occupied
Joe.
territory.
Joe, give me 1 second.
Hold your
One second, guys. 1 second. One second. Okay. Let me hear from Rabiba, and then I'll toss it to Joe. Like I'm just trying to understand, how you guys are operating up there, right? And then we can, have a little debate or a conversation. So Habiba, again, straight question, just straight up. Okay. Yes or no? Did Israel have the right to respond to Hamas's attacks?
So when we talk about response, again, they can't declare war on an occupied
Yeah, but you got
territory because they are occupying it. So let's get the terms right. No, the reason this matters.
No.
Say what?
Just give me a yes or no. That's it.
Okay, so do they have a right to deal with terrorist threats and security threats? Yes. When you're talking about declaring war against an entity that they are themselves occupying, then what is the right of the Palestinians to defend themselves
But they
against
didn't declare
Israeli
war against
occupation?
Gaza. They declared war against Hamas.
No, because he talked about
Hamas is
Amalek
the
and how he
occupying
would
power of
kill,
the Gaza Strip.
He talked about Amalek and how he would kill humans and
No,
animals and elderly
Hamas
and
is the
children.
occupying power of the Gaza
How is
Strip.
that? How is that? How is that
Okay.
Hamas?
All right.
No.
All right, let me go to Joe.
Netanyahu, people.
Let me go to Joe real quick, right? Joe, I'm gonna ask you the same question. I just want a yes or no, brother. Please don't bring it around
I
the
can't
road.
do yes or no, Nelson. I gotta answer properly.
Why can't you give me a yes or no, man?
Because then
It
he
depends
would
on
have
the
to tell the
question.
truth.
It depends on the question.
He
Bro,
has to deflect.
do this, right? Everyone's gonna have a chance to get it off. I promise you. Everybody's gonna have a chance to get it off. Right now, I just want a yes or no. And I'm gonna go through everybody on stage right now. Okay. Yes or no. That's all I want. Please do not give me a fucking monologue. Okay. Joe, did Israel have the right to respond to the attacks on October 7th? Yes or no?
Yes, they have a right to respond.
All right, boom. Nog, yes or no?
Yes, of course.
All right. Just a man of earth, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Liberty, yes or no?
Without question.
Habiba, yes or no?
I've already answered that one.
All right. Yam, yes or no?
Yeah.
Mariah,
Absolutely.
Sphinx,
Yes.
Lev,
Absolutely.
M.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, I need you guys to do the same thing. Yes or no, put it in the chat right now. If you're on Twitter, hit the chat feature, bottom right corner of the space. Respond to the tweet in the space with your answer. Yes or no. Very simple. Don't give me a goddamn monologue like a Habiba, by the way, okay? All right, boom. Now, let me go to Joa. Joa, break it down. Give me the full play, and I'll toss it to M to respond to you.
Yeah, I mean, here's the difference. This is where it gets complicated, and I think some people are being intellectually dishonest, right? If we're going to go by international law, which does consider what Hamas is doing war crimes, right? If you're launching the mortars and they can't be targeted, that itself is a war crime, right? But they also consider what Israel did a war crime, and they consider the fact that Israel cannot declare war on Gaza. They do consider it an occupied territory. This makes it a law and order issue and not a war issue. And that's where we have a disconnect here, except for some idiots who don't consider Hamas a terrorist group. There's a different type of response if it's occupied territory or it's not. And internationally, it is considered an occupied territory, although Israel and the U.S. currently does not, although the Department of the State does consider it an occupied territory.
M, what are your thoughts about what he's saying?
Okay, even if it's an occupied territory and you want to respond to it in a security operation, the security operation can have a military nature, and therefore the military can be deployed. And for the military to be deployed, you'll have to basically declare war against the non-state actor, which is what happened. So that's just dancing around the point. How do you
No,
establish
because
security?
look at Waco. Look at
How do you
Waco. That was a
establish?
military
How do
operation,
you
and we didn't
how do
declare
you
war on
establish?
Texas.
How listen?
There's difference.
Exactly. There's difference. So in certain operations, you deploy the military right away. In certain operations, you can deploy a gendarmerie or something like the Italian Carabinieri, but that's not the case, right? If you have a gendarmerie, for instance, or the Egyptian Central Security Forces, they do that. The Italian Carabinieri, they do that. The gendarmerie, they do that. But they can also deploy military because then it will be a counterinsurgency operation, which is, and COIN is an established doctrine. And given the density of the Gaza Strip, and given the capabilities of the enemy that you're facing in the Gaza Strip, and given the fact that your military forces are also concerned with reducing their own casualties, shaping operations are a go. They are not outside the laws of armed conflict. And therefore, area power can be deployed in order to engage in shaping operations to reduce the prospects of forced casualties. It's called force protection. It's 101.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said. The difference, comes in reports that we get from international bodies that we do sometimes. Like Israel's there because UN says it's a state, right? International law. So if we agree with international law, right, there is evidence that there were undiscriminate bombing per the UN and per Amnesty International. Do you understand? So if we're going to use them for facts, we should use them for
Joel,
facts,
but
and that's the
evidence is
difference.
Joel. Evidence is not facts. There should be a trial, and they could provide evidence, and the other side gets to provide evidence. You want to convict them already because of one report.
I
That's
don't want
going
to
to
convict
happen.
them. I
No,
want to
but
slow
you
them
are.
down, Lev. I want to slow them down.
No. But you're saying you want to convict them, saying that because there's a
I
report of a
want
war
to
crime.
slow them. I want to slow them down.
Joel, but not what the way you're saying it. You're saying that there's a report that there's a crime. It's the same thing saying that somebody came out and reported that I sexually assaulted somebody. So that means that's it. I should be convicted. I don't have my day in trial to put on the facts. Israel will have its time. There will be a time for that. And this is what we keep talking about. You keep bringing up war crimes that are happening right now. There will be a time for war crimes. And yes, if Israel commits war crimes, I agree they should get punished. But right now we're talking
But
about
Lev,
a
there are war
response
crimes
to.
from the past that never got to trial.
And there's people that are walking around the street that don't pay taxes and never got convicted, and they commit crimes and don't get caught. It's a fucked up world, Joe. I agree with you, and not everything is fair. And you can't base everything off of what happened in the past. We're talking about today. Today, you even agreed yourself that Israel has a right to defend themselves. So let's stop trying to nitpick and look at little. Because stop, hold on a second. Nitpick and look at this organization says this and this organization. The bottom line is Hamas, not Palestine, not the people of Gaza. Let's not compare them. Let's not put them on one. Hamas attacked Israel. Israel declared war on Hamas. Unfortunately, Hamas is hiding in between Gaza and in between the civilian people of Palestine. If Hamas was hiding right now in Syria, I'm sure Israel would be going into Syria to root out Hamas. But this is where Hamas chose to hide, chose to use people for cover, and that is at the end of the day, it is their fault that all of this is going on. And the
So
quicker
Lev,
yes, go ahead, Habib.
we're talking about war crimes and we're talking about
Can I
Hamas. So what has
respond
what has
since he
that got
was
to do with what has the denial of aid, food, water, and fuel got to do with
There
Hamas?
she
Because
goes
this is
dancing again.
starving children, and it's not dancing; it's a war crime. You don't
No,
need to
no,
medicate
Habiba, can I
it.
just say
It's a
something
war
real
crime.
quick? I want to go
It's
ahead
a
and sort of
question for Lev.
Hold on, Habiba. I just want to go ahead and sort of go fund me for your parents because they must have
No,
spent tens
sorry,
of
it's a
thousands of
question for
dollars
Lev.
in
I'd like
dance
to hear his
lessons.
Okay.
opinion on this.
My opinion is, Habib, the things that you keep bringing up are happened in the first couple of days of the war, and you keep bringing them up like it's out. Today, there's aid that's being put in. There's like 300 trucks that are being brought in right now. The first couple of days, Israel announced that they shut off the water and
first
electricity.
couple of weeks, Lev, not days,
Maybe
weeks.
even first
Actually,
couple
the
of weeks.
trucks
I'm
still
not.
aren't at 300. It's part of the deal which starts tomorrow.
Habiba, but that stopped. Now there's humanitarian aid coming in, and now that has not happened. If that was going, is if that what they did is a war crime, that is to be able to be discussed later. You cannot fix that right now. There's nothing you could do right now to fix what Israel did 3 weeks ago. We have to move on and move forward. The quicker that Israel gets to exterminate Hamas, the quicker this problem gets resolved. That is the bottom line. We could sit here and talk about bombs, this, that, the other thing, and Israel is not going to stop until it eradicates Hamas. That's the
Lev, you
bottom
say it's
line.
in the past. They just bombed the water desalination plant again. That's a war crime.
Let me
Why?
ask you a question. Let me
Why?
You know, real quick, Lev, answer that question. I want to go to Luis real quick. But
I
Lev,
wanted to answer since you addressed me.
sure. Well, I'm sorry. What was the question? I'm sorry.
They just bombed the water desalination plant. It's not the first time. There was a massive, the New York Times did a good report on it. There's a massive sign over it saying a water desalination plant. The IDF have bombed it and destroyed it. Why have they done this again? It's a war crime because you're denying water and you're cutting off
It's not.
supplies.
It's because you're saying one side of the story. If we speak to the IDF, I'm sure because Hamas was hiding underneath, or there was tunnels there, and it's a war crime for Hamas to be able to use water facilities to use as cover to be able. So we keep talking about one side always and say, okay, well, show me the facts. Yes, if that is a war crime, all of these things will be discussed later. But you can't. There's nothing you could do right now to change it. The only thing that will change the suffering of the Palestinian people is the quicker that Hamas gets eradicated, and then people can get back to the tables, and there'll be a way to be able to give the Palestinian people a normal way of life. Until Hamas is not eradicated, that shit ain't gonna happen. Realize it.
You know,
Wake
when
the fuck
Russia,
up.
Lev, you know, the problem is with your argument is when Russia started attacking the hospitals, the schools and everything, and they kept saying, oh, it's the Nazis were after, and they kept killing civilians, Ukrainian civilians, right? No one waited to adjudicate whether or not Russia were committing war crimes. They just went in and saved Ukraine, rightly so.
Habib, you're
Are you
comparing
arguing to
you're
me that they
comparing
should
a
continue to
terrorist.
do this?
You're comparing Russia. I compared them to Hamas. Russia is a criminal terrorist
Russia's
state themselves.
occupying Ukraine. Israel is
Correct,
occupying
correct.
Palestine.
So, but you're comparing
There's
Russia
no
to
such country.
Israel. You're trying to compare Israel to Russia. You should compare
Right.
Russia to Hamas. That's your problem.
Lev, Ukrainians didn't hide
Hold
under
on, hold on.
hospitals.
I've had my hand up for like 5 hours. It's gonna fall off, and
let's do it. Jump in.
all right, okay. So besides what Jihadi Joa said, nice profile pic by the way. Just wanted to say,
Wait, Jihadi Joa.
Yeah, when they can't
Yo,
argue merit, they
that's a funny
smear.
shit,
no,
dog.
no, yeah, no, I can do both, bro. That's your problem.
It's called
So,
ad hominem.
Yeah, you know what? It sure goddamn is. I wanted to say,
Comatose.
okay, right. That's right.
Ad
It
lib.
it is. I wanted to say a couple of things to what Nelson you mentioned in the beginning. First of all, the IDF showed the evidence of the tunnels, okay, and very, very early on, okay. The reason it wasn't immediate, right, was simple military strategy because Hamas would have immediately known their position that when they did show. They would have known where known a couple of things. They know about the tunnels. They know where the entry is. They know certain entries. They've made contact with this entry point, and that would have been until they had, until they knew they would take control of it. That's just bad military strategy. The other thing I wanted to say is also military strategy. Having a tunnel system with an extensive base setup underneath a hospital is strategic decision, right? So that injured terrorists can easily get medical attention. It's not for shits and giggles. I don't know why people lose their common sense when it comes to this let's simp for Hamas, all the Hamas simpers. Okay, it's so that there's an active way. No, you shut the fuck up. Whoever from the clubhouse poorhouse, you shut the fuck up. Um, I can't deal with this. We don't understand. Why would they use a hospital? Because terrorists tend to get injured. Injured people need to be taken to a hospital. They don't want to be taken on ground. They need to be taken underground. You know why? Because they're terrorists. Yesterday somebody said they needed tunnels to transport food because they're not allowed to eat. I mean, the shit you guys say is really unbelievable. And as far as the medical director goes, when you're a medical director of a hospital, typically, yes, you're a physician, yes, you're an MD, but you're mostly administrative. And if you're telling me that guy wasn't knee deep in knowledge, knowing exactly what was going on, assigning doctors. I'm assuming the other doctors that were arrested, he had assigned. He knew exactly what doctors were going to get aid. I'm sure there were doctors going down there. There were patients coming up. So this is absolutely no doubt this guy knew what was going on.
Yeah, that guy's a
Serious
goddamn
question
criminal.
though. Who built? No, serious question. Who built the
One
bunker?
second, Dana.
Go ahead.
One second. I gotta go to Luis real quick. Luis, jump in, and I'm gonna get M to respond to whatever you got to say, my brother. Let's talk about it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm so happy she came on before me and said only terrorists would build those type of tunnels underneath a hospital because Israel built those tunnels. So I'm happy that you said you got to die on that cross. Okay. Second point, the gentleman who said this war is Israel against Hamas. Well, if this war is Israel against Hamas, then why did the Israeli military admit that its goal is destruction instead of accuracy? That sounds like people who don't give a fuck who gets injured in this war. Netanyahu came out and said and admitting that his goal is to flatten Gaza. That doesn't sound like it's him against Hamas. It sounds like it's him against all of Palestine that he wants to get rid of. I'm pretty sure that bombing a refugee camp isn't Israel against Hamas. It's Israel against Palestinians. I'm going to go on mute and wait for the ignorance to come back, and then I'll respond.
The
I love
ignorance
that
is
brother.
you.
I love
No,
that
that
brother. I don't know who he is.
God bless
What-
you. God bless you.
One second. Let me get one mic on M. M, please jump in and respond to this brother. Let's talk about it.
The answer is very simple. So when a nation state declares war and they say that their primary objective is the destruction of the enemy, they mean that. They mean that they will destroy Hamas as an organization, that they will dismantle the organization, that they will demilitarize it, not just degrade its military capabilities, but destroy its military capabilities. And by destruction of military capabilities, they mean A, destroying their rocket launchers, B, destroying their fighters or killing their fighters, C, destroying their capability to manufacture weapons inside the strip, D, destroying their logistics network and taking out their financial networks, and so on and so forth. That's what you mean by saying, I will destroy the enemy. It doesn't mean that I'm going in to destroy an entire city or to destroy an entire country or to destroy all the people who live there. This is military talk. By destruction, you mean you destroy the enemy, not just degrade their capabilities and return back to base. You destroy the enemy, it means that the enemy is not going to exist in the geographical vicinity as a threat actor anymore after that. That's the first point. The second point... The second point, you asked 2 points. I'm responding to your 2 points, and then I'll shut up. The second point, the refugee camp. When you say refugee camp, people will visualize a tent city, for instance, where people are living in poor conditions, and it's just a refugee camp, man. It's just like people in a refugee camp, and the IAF is bombing them to oblivion. That's not the case. Jabalia refugee camp is the name of an entire neighborhood in Gaza City. Why? Because back in the day, when people settled there, it was a refugee camp, but then it turned into a city. It was part of a city. It's an entire neighborhood. Concrete buildings, sewage, water, telephone lines, internet, electricity, shops, workshops, mechanical shops, and so on and so forth. It's a part of a city. It's an entire neighborhood in a city called Jabalia, but it's named Jabalia Refugee Camp. It's like calling Primrose Hill in London. That's the name of the neighborhood. Why was it bombed? Because there was a high-value target there who's hiding amongst the civilian population. Why are we here to begin with? Because Hamas, as a terrorist organization, as a non-state actor, embedded itself in a highly dense civilian population center. They operate there, and therefore their playbook has always been to attack Israel, to provoke a retaliation by the IDF, and knowing that they are embedded in a densely populated area, there will be civilian casualties. And then using those civilian casualties, they exert pressure on the state of Israel using information warfare. That's what you're looking at, my guy. It's not really rocket science.
So Nelson, let me respond. It's interesting that you should say the point that you did. Are you familiar with the difference between interpretation and interpolation?
Yes, the game of tonight, in the spirit of Thanksgiving and the truce, is all about that, and it's called Super Mario. When Nelson allows me to launch it, you might join Joa and Habiba and Dana because they are the smartest voices of pro-Palestinian side, and you can play the game with them.
That's fact.
Excuse me, sir. I asked you a straightforward question. Are you familiar with the distinction and the difference between
He answered you. Be respectful, you chump.
Excuse me, I don't. You told me to shut the
Yes,
fuck.
I'm aware. I'm aware. There is no interpretation in military sciences. Okay. Military sciences are military sciences. You don't like them, you don't like them. Sometimes they don't like you too.
Excuse me, sir. It is now my turn to respond to your retort. So allow me.
It's your turn to be a dork.
Interrupted as you respond as you asked, and I did for you. Okay. You kept responding to my initial 2 point with, well, what they mean, which means you are overlapping your interpretation and then juxtaposing your interpolation, which means adding things to something that were not originally there to prove your point. That is what interpolation means. You are adding things to what the army officials are actually saying to justify or rationalize your point. Okay.
What did he talk? What did he add?
No, man, I'm a military analyst. You know that's what we do. It's just science basically. It's 1 + 1 = 2. There's no interpretation in military sciences. You go in, you do this, you do that. I don't do narratives. If that's what you're talking about.
And let me finish.
Bro,
go ahead.
The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because although you're overlapping your understanding of what they actually mean, the military officials are saying things such as no such thing as Palestinian people, period. These people are supporters of Hamas. There are no innocent people. We are targeting all of them. These are what the military officials are saying. That is why other military officials are coming out and saying, let's nuke the whole place. Because there is a callous way of objectifying and creating an other, right? Through propaganda and dehumanization and calling people animals and terrorists and all these things to strip away their humanity and allow you to cause them to be a number in your war or in your game, period. So
what does Hamas or what did they say? I mean, that's bullshit. They say the same thing.
1 second, everybody.
I will say one point, and I'll yield the mic. Answering you, in response to you, here's a simple statistic. Assuming that the number of casualties is 16K, and assuming that the population of Gaza is 2.3 million, the total number of casualties per capita is 0.69. Fancy that, 69. But that means that it's 0.7% of the entire population. That's less than 1% of the entire population in a very intense campaign of urban warfare. That's not mass destruction. That's precise targeting. They have been engaged in this for so many weeks right now. Had they had the intention to engage in mass destruction, like you said, and unspecified targeting or just like random killing of people, that number of casualties would have been a multiple of that. That's not the case given the firepower that the IDF has.
0.7% of the population is huge.
Real quick.
70% of those are women and children. This is genocidal.
One second. Luis, real quick. I have a feeling you're going to be very active tonight. Jump on Twitter real quick. Let me bring you on the stage. Jump on Twitter right now. I'm going to bring you up.
Can I ask a question while you're bringing that guy up?
I need everybody to mute out real quick, please. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. God damn it. Okay. All right. So Em wants to play a little game today, right? A little game. And I think it's perfect, for this debate style conversation we got going on right now. So we've got Habiba on the stage, pro-Palestinian. We got Joa. We have Dana. I got Luis jumping in here right now. We got a good 4 people on the stage on Twitter that are pro-Palestinian. Plus, I got backup for you guys on the Clubhouse. And, if you do need some additional pro-Palestinians, we got Catherine et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, do you want to go ahead and break this game down real quick so we can see who's gonna get slayed and who's gonna get demolished and who's gonna stay alive? What's the deal? Break the game down for us.
Yeah, I'll make them an offer they can't refuse, but let's go to Yehuda first. He wanted to say something really quickly, and then when Lewis join us so that I can say the rules once.
Okay, let's go. Yehuda, jump in, my brother.
Try to jump in. First of all, it seems that Thanksgiving had a few reprieves because there's plenty of turkeys on the phone tonight, Nelson. Let's address some of them. The key, we need to debunk one lie. It keeps coming up and up and up. Israel built a hospital called Al-Shifa in 1983. Hospitals have basements. They have bunkers for bomb attacks from people like Hamas. The Israelis are not talking about the building they built. They're talking about the tunnels underneath. If you look at the tunnels that the Israelis have showed you, they're clearly not built when the hospital was built. These are Hamas terror tunnels. So for the love of God, stop saying, gotcha. They built a hospital. They built basements. Yes, they have hallways and corridors. That's number one. Number two, to Mr. Webster Dictionary, interpolation, you sound like Cornel West. A lot of big words here. They don't mean much. It's very simple. You can't quote a couple of rogue lunatic parliamentarians in Israel who said dumb things. The military has never said they're going to kill every Gazan. Those are your words. You're making stuff up. The government, the prime minister, the defense minister have said they will eradicate Hamas. They didn't say they're going to eradicate the Palestinian people. As much as you want that to be true to suit your narrative, everyone here can check it out for themselves. Try fighting the fight on the info you got. Don't make it up. It's getting silly. Now I'm ready to play Mario Brothers. Thanks.
Yehuda, I can actually give you
Can
just
I
one
say something
comment
that clarifies
just to
one thing?
contradict
Hey,
you.
I'm excited about the game, bro.
Real quick, guys. Let's get
Nelson, can I
quick.
just say one thing that clarifies what I said earlier, please, very quickly?
Let's do it. Let's do it real quick.
I just want to say something to everyone. When I called Joe a jihadi Joe, I just want everyone to know it is not because I don't even know his religion. It is just because he has earned that, because he has repeatedly said dumb ass Hamas simping bullshit. Okay, has nothing to do
Did
with
anyone else
where
hear me
with where
say
he's
that
from.
Hamas is a terrorist
Hold
group?
on, hold on,
And they
hold
can't
on.
argue on
Get
merit.
on
They
your
do smear
golden
campaigns.
kneecaps, Joa. Okay, that's all. So I don't have any, like, I'm not making any, this is not about any religion. So just so you know, this is just purely to jihadi Joa right there, and absolutely no disrespect meant for any Muslims or anyone else who hears that. It is not to be generalized.
Man, that's a dope ass name.
Nelson, I got to reply. Look, when people can't argue on merit, they try to smear a person, which is what she's done repeatedly over and over and over, and absolutely ridiculous. When I came up here and said Hamas is a terrorist group, and she keeps calling me Hamas sympathizer, it's absolutely ridiculous that you allow this to happen on stage when I have been very vocal that I consider them a terrorist group.
Me?
But Joe, be honest. You said,
wait. Calm down. Did you say I allowed to happen on stage?
Yeah, to smear other people that you have on as guests.
Come on,
it's
bro.
ridiculous. I don't attack anyone here.
Dude, I thought you were laughing when she said that. I was laughing, bro. Come on. All right.
I laughed when she said it the first time, but then she came on and said I'm a Hamas sympathizer, which is ridiculous.
You guys are fucking around, bro. It's all
Joa,
good. Right.
you got to keep it together, bro.
Sphinx. If he doesn't like it, let's not use it. Respectfully, okay? Let's not do that.
He can do better, bro. He can keep it together.
Nah. I don't
respect.
I won't start getting called a goddamn Zio, man. So let's show respect for one another. Em, break the rules down, man. I'm ready to get this goddamn thing going, my brother. What are the rules?
All right, we will play Mario Brothers tonight in light of, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, and there's a truce tomorrow. And we've been doing this, going back and forth and debating for so many weeks. Everyone's dancing around their answers. So we'll play a very simple tabletop strategy game. We have three smart voices representing pro-Palestine. We have Habiba, Dana, ladies first, and Joa, and maybe Louis would join. I will be completely neutral. So I'll act as a neutral moderator. We have Yehuda, we have Lev, we have Liberty, we have Moriah. They can play pro-Israel side. What we will do is a simple game of simple questions, just to educate our side, your side, and the audience on how complex this conflict is and how it can be resolved peacefully so that everyone can go back home happy. The game is simple. So between you four of you, Habiba, Joa, Dana, and Lewis, you're the game principals on the other side, A, B, C, and D. You elect A. Player A is the one who will respond to my questions. And if he doesn't want to make a move, he can consult with B, C, and D. B, C, and D to choose a move. And if they don't form a consensus, then A is the only person who has the right to make that move. The same thing applies to the other team. How about that? Would you like to play?
Shit, let's rock out. Okay, so let me divide the stage real quick. So Luis, Habiba, Dana, who else? Joa. You guys are Team Palestine. Okay. Then we've got Yehuda, Mariah. Oh shit, Jonathan, you want to get in on this, Jonathan?
Yeah, bro, I'm listening. I mean, if you want me to, or you want me to, if I'm too biased, I don't know.
Yeah, we got Jihadi John. Okay, let's talk about it. All right. So, I mean, guys, does it need to be balanced like 4-4 or can it be 6-4?
We can have people from Clubhouse join. They can play 4-1, 6-1, whatever they want.
True. Okay.
Nelson, they're going to need more people against us. So give them.
Catherine, are you down? You ready to go?
We want better Israeli advocates because, you know,
Oh, be
they need to
quiet,
know their
Baghdad,
stuff.
Bammy.
So we
don't
got
know what you're talking about.
One second, everybody. 1 second. So we got Catherine on the Clubhouse saying she's going to join the Palestinian side. So that's 5. So you guys got 5. If anybody in the audience on Twitter wants to get on stage and you're on a pro-Palestinian side, just hit the request button real quick and we'll see if we can swap somebody out for you guys. Okay, cool. So we got 5 people on the pro-Palestine side. We got Yehuda, Moriah, Sphinx, Lev, and Jonathan, and Liberty. So we got 6 people on the pro-Israel side, right? Now
Please
we need
add me to the Nelson.
Oh, amen. You're on the Palestinian side?
Yes.
Boom.
I can be.
So we got 2 Palestinians on the Clubhouse end. So we got 6-6. Oh my God, it's gonna be crazy. All right, we got 6-6. So do we pick team captains now? What's the deal? What are we doing?
Yes, the first challenge for Team Palestine is to elect a captain.
All right, Team Palestine. Who's gonna be your captain? Or you want me to make it easy for you guys? Like you want me to pick somebody?
Yeah, I can do it if you guys don't. Yeah, if you want. It's up to you.
Okay, Joa.
No voting? No
I'm
candidates and
like
voting?
I don't know.
better
We
pick
have to get
someone
on with
for
it
them
because it's
because they're
like
going to end up killing each other.
So
just like Hamas, let someone just rule.
One second, Yehuda. 1 second. So Joe, are you good with Habiba being team captain?
Yeah, she wants to be
Joe
captain.
can
It's
do
fine.
it. I did.
Of course he picks Baghdad, Bambi.
Luis, bro, you guys got to mute the fuck out when I'm trying to set this thing up respectfully. Okay, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Luis, are you good with Habiba being the team captain?
Let's go.
Dana, you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right, fuck it. Unanimous votes. Majority wins. Okay, we need a team captain on the Israeli side.
I nominate Yehuda.
Yehuda, okay.
Yeah, Yehuda.
Yehuda.
Okay, so boom, we got Yehuda and Habiba. Let's go.
All right, first question, Habiba.
Yalla.
Okay. Do you like video games?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know Super Mario?
Yeah.
What is a game designer interested in?
Like addictiveness.
Exactly, capturing your attention. Okay. For you, what does Super Mario game represent, or Mario Brothers game represent?
Like, what do you mean? This is a signifier? Like, I don't.
So we can say that
Childhood.
Super Mario is overcoming physical obstacles and fighting monsters to capture the flag, go into the castle, and free the princess, right?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So
I forgot about this. Yeah,
you forgot about the princess. No worries. In the world of Super Mario, who are you? Are you Super Mario or are you the monsters?
Super Mario.
And the princess is?
I forgot about the princess. I literally was just thinking about getting through the levels.
Yeah, but you're Team Palestine, so the princess for you would be what?
Freedom.
There you go. Yehuda, same questions. What does Super Mario game represent for you?
It represents fighting evil and winning.
So, do you consider yourself Super Mario in the game?
Certainly.
And what about the monsters and the physical obstacles? What do you think of those?
Road bumps.
And capture the flag and the princess, what does that represent for you?
A two-state solution, peace, prosperity for Israelis and Palestinians.
Great. Now, going forward, Habiba, would you consider the different levels of the Mario Brothers game, the different stages of the conflict?
Ooh, going.
No, it's just hard to, because you know, this is trite, but it's serious. Like every time we're talking about games, I'm thinking the bombings are escalating. So it's not abstract. It's like people are dying right now.
Aww.
Don't change the subject, Habibi.
But
It's a game.
seriously,
Like that
seriously,
Bambi has a heart.
hang on, folks.
I don't know who's
Unmute
speaking, but like that's
hang
rude.
on, Habiba,
I
it's
know,
fine.
it's Liberty. I'm watching his dumbass say shit like that.
All right, Team Israel, hold your horses. Habiba, this game is done in good faith, okay? And it's supposed to educate all of us. There are no traps here. There are no.
Do I
There is
consult with
no.
the team? Yeah. Then what are
Yes,
the
of course, you
obstacles?
can
The
consult. Yeah.
obstacles.
No. The
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
is, would you consider the levels in the game? They get harder, more complicated, more monsters, different tricks, different obstacles. Would you agree to the analogy that different stages in the game, different levels in the game, can be
Yeah.
the
It's
same
getting
as
harder.
different stages of the conflict, right?
Yeah, it's getting harder. Yeah.
She give her the rules. Maybe she doesn't understand that she can speak to the team.
Team
No, it's
Israel,
harder.
let's win.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You can always consult the team whenever you feel that it's a
If they
trick
want to weigh in,
question.
but ahla wa sahla, like of course it's harder. Yeah. If people want to weigh in, they can. Yeah, of course it's
Man,
getting
let's
harder
go,
and
man.
harder.
Habiba
Yehuda,
got the rules. Let's go.
Yehuda, the levels. What do the levels represent for you?
Facing adversity, overcoming the enemy, as Israel gets closer.
Killing goddamn terrorists, basically.
Killing
Let's
God
go.
and dad terrorists. That's it.
Let's go.
Could we help our captain?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so each advancing the levels is improving, getting better with each level because it gets harder.
Okay, Habiba. Now regarding the levels.
Do you
Go
mind
ahead.
if you flip flop back and forth who you ask the question to first, so it is not biased?
You chose. Oh, okay. You want to hear it? Yeah, sure.
Go ahead,
I got
Joe.
you. No, he wants me to ask Team Israel first, so that fine, fair enough. Good. Okay. In light of doing this, changing each team every time, that's good. So, a question for you, Yehuda. What is the most weird conspiracy or the weirdest conspiracy theory that you can hear about Mario Brothers?
That it was made to destroy the entire game in your computer and your Xbox. That it's seeking to destroy everything.
All right, it's a
Can
computer
I help
virus.
my partner? Can I help my
Sure, go
partner?
ahead, Sphinx.
Okay, that they're actually represent Mario and Suleiman. Is Luigi.
God damn.
All right, question to you, Habiba. What is the weirdest conspiracy theory you can come up with to describe the world of Super Mario?
Joe, do you want to take it, or someone?
Yeah, I will take statement. The biggest conspiracy theory in the beginning that they have the right in that land.
We're playing the game. So, for instance, everyone's aware of that comic, with the princess in bed with the dragon, and the dragon is actually a guy dressed like a dragon, and he can't believe that Super Mario believes that she's kidnapped again. So, some can say that the conspiracy theory about that is that the princess is never in love with Super Mario anyway, and she's been running away with her boyfriend, and that Super Mario is delusional, for instance, right? That's a conspiracy theory about Super Mario game, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I can make a conspiracy about Super Mario, which
Hit
was
me.
actually a conspiracy that the coins were actually souls that you collect.
Oh, that's deep.
Em, real quick question, Em. Quick question. Are we going to be asking them questions based on this war or Super Mario?
Well, based on this war. This is the final one that opens the game to the war. So wouldn't you say that, judging by the questions you have just answered on both teams, that given that we have a conflict, that they have different narratives, and everyone sees themselves here as Super Mario, and everyone sees the other one as monsters, and everyone wants to overcome the other one, but some people have maximalist endgames, and the other ones are willing to share the future and live and exist peacefully next to the other one?
Can I answer that? Was that to our team or was that to
your team? It's your turn.
Yeah, you guys tell me if you agree or not. But I think what you just said is true for both sides. Both sides believe that they want to share the land. Both sides think they're in the right. Both sides think that they want to live peacefully in a two-state solution. Some in a one-state solution, and some want the other side gone, and that's true for both sides.
Can I just add an
He
addendum to
lives
that,
in
Joa?
Moron City, Liberty. I don't know what to tell you.
Can I
Hang
add an
on.
addendum to that?
I swear to God, those two are dumb and dumber.
So my addendum to that would be you might have opposing narratives, but one side is a nuclear power backed by the West with billions of dollars in armaments and Iron Dome, weaponry that can eradicate anyone that is a belligerent occupier. And it's an asymmetry of power, of backing, of everything against a powerless people. 20,000 fighters with a ragtag team. I don't care, right? You've got 2 million who are dispossessed. It's not an equal fight. Narratives are one thing, but one side is killing the other en masse.
Yeah, but you could also take a look at the game as, every time you pass a level, you're close to catching the princess, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the level, the dragon takes her away. The same way as you could look at Israel constantly wanting peace and prosperity, and every time they try to give some sort of a deal to the and work something out, the Hamas, the terrorist groups, fuck it up and cause chaos, terrorists killing innocent people to cause more chaos by where we are today.
Man, I like this game. God damn. Okay, let's keep it going.
On top of that, one second. On top of that, the Israelis are the ones that turned the game on and said, "Let's play. Let's get that princess. Let's have peace." They're the ones. They're in the dominant position. They don't need nuclear weapons. They don't need the West soldiers to fight this battle. They're going to play it on their own, just like Super Mario did. Go for it.
Israel
Exactly.
has rejected peace with Hamas 5 times.
Well, we're going to focus on the game now. So, wouldn't you say that a game designer is interested in the end game rather than inheriting a game that he has to play without having to design it, Habiba?
I don't know. Like, hold on, say it again.
That's game theory. Wouldn't you say that in reverse game theory,
Yeah.
a game designer is interested in the end game, and therefore he is interested in controlling the game to make sure that the game players play according to who owns the game, the principal?
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, because if the objective is just to prolong the game and prolong the suffering and prolong it so that there's an addictive component until one side is obliterated to the point where they can't really function, yeah, you can still say that the game's being prolonged. It's a maximalist objective, like you said. The people who are playing this game don't want people to win. They don't want, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That you've answered it, because that's exactly right. Israel at any point or in the game could have destroyed all of Palestine if it wanted to, but it doesn't. It wants to win fair and square. It wants to win the princess, and every level that the dragon takes it away is Hamas destabilizing peace and wanting to prolong the suffering of their people. Because at the end of the day, when Mario gets the princess and they're together, there is peace. There's only one group that's retrograde, and that's that side, the Bowser side.
Yeah, and just to add to that, and just hold on a second, hold on. Let me just add to that, and just to add to it, it's like, in the game where they used to have the cheat sheets, where you could go online and get these cheat sheets and skip all these levels and to win the game quicker. Well, Israel could do that by wiping out Gaza, like you keep saying, if they wanted to, but they don't. They play fair and square without getting the cheat sheets.
But the games that I have the most fun is where I can kill every goddamn thing in sight.
Well, they have. They've killed over 10,600 Palestinians
That's the game
in the
I enjoy
last.
playing.
How many of
Since
those are Hamas
2001.
fighters, Sabiba? You wouldn't say though, would you?
Actually, I'm not including Hamas fighters. These are civilians, according to B'Tselem. They
No,
divide it by.
they include both of those in the same statistic. There's been no published
Actually,
publication
they don't. They divide it by
differentiates them.
Israeli forces and Palestinian forces and civilians. So no, it's over
So now you
10,600.
took the Israeli forces, Palestinian forces, and civilians and threw them into the same number, which isn't 10,000.
No, I haven't done at all. Actually, I've literally just taken Israeli forces killing civilians.
This is Baghdad Bambi twisting and making up facts.
Habiba,
No,
hold on a
it's
second.
not.
Sean, hold on a second. Sean, hold on a second. How do you, Habiba? How can you? Hold on, Joe. Habiba? How do you? How can you? Habiba, how can you tell that if there's civilians?
Just said to mow everyone down. Your team
Hold
just
on a
said mow
second.
everyone
Hold on. I
down.
have a question for Habiba.
In the database,
How do you know they're not Hamas fighters? I'm just
so
curious.
in the database, they're
Uh-huh.
divided by civilians, Israeli forces, Palestinian forces, civilians, and they divide them by age. They divide them by gender. All of this stuff is tabulated. So it's not a
and where's
case
the
that
data
it's
from?
not described.
Where's the data for?
What do you mean it's not
And how
described?
many? So Habiba, how many Hamas fighters are dead?
All right, real quick.
I didn't even bring this to.
Everybody mute out, goddamn it. Everybody mute out, okay?
Sorry.
And what's the game, bro? If you're moderating the game, I need you to step in and fucking make
Yeah. I was just waiting to see where it leads, but I don't want to cut people off. But yeah, here it goes. So the good point here is that you both agree that there might be other games in motion as well, because the world is not just Super Mario. So other people are playing same games at the same time. Wouldn't you say, Yehuda, that other people are engaged in other games?
Yes, other games are at play, other incentives to keep the game going, to keep people involved and keep their eyes on the screen.
Exactly. So if other games are playing, and assuming a neutral observation position post, Yehuda, that question is for you. Looking outside in the Super Mario world, what do you see?
Again, the first part.
If you imagined yourself as a neutral observer, and you are aware that there are other games at play, and you're looking outside into the Super Mario world, what do you see?
You see a continuation, a constant moving of goalposts, and moving of the end state to make it harder and harder for justice to prevail, for Mario to win.
And how do you see it, Habiba, Joa?
I see it as a constant moving of levels where you conquered more levels, or you can substitute ground, and you can look throughout history. When you were mentioning deaths, you can look at how much ground has been conquered over the years, and that is the game. It's not the, I don't believe they're purposely killing a bunch of people. I think they're purposely displacing a lot of people and conquering more ground as they have for decades.
I mean, Jonathan, why
that is the other game? That is the other game that's being played.
Jonathan,
I would disagree with that, Joe. I think.
Jonathan, why do I feel like I just ate a bunch of fucking mushrooms listening to all this shit about Super Mario? I feel like I just ingested a shit ton of mushrooms for Thanksgiving.
Bro, that's
what the fuck?
What a great Thanksgiving, Nelson.
The games they're talking about, man. Hey, give me a gun, man. Give me an airship.
Yo, Nelson, you guys start sharing, bro. Sharing is caring, dog.
Bro, like you motherfuckers.
You do pass fucking bag?
Holy shit, dog. God damn. All right, what's the next move, my brother? Let's talk about it.
Wait, can I say one thing though about something?
Sure, go.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to say though is regarding the comparison of the Super Mario game to war, right? You can't make that one-to-one to the different levels with each level getting harder and each stage of war getting harder. I don't think you can always make that one-to-one comparison, because if you think about it, the beginning of a war or whatever, might actually be harder than when you're 3/4 through, if you're on the winning side. So it's not always a one-to-one where in real life it gets harder with each stage. I imagine it starts out hard and gets harder and harder, and at some point, either you're fucking losing and it gets, which case it keeps getting harder, or at some point you start to, it goes the other way.
We have to recognize that M's talking about game theory, so this is the big picture that he's really getting at.
I know, Yehuda.
I'm not referring. Yeah, no. I'm
No,
not.
no,
I'm
no,
not.
no,
I'm
no,
not.
but
I'm not commenting on your comment. I'm just saying another comment. This is a fresh one. The game theory aspect. You have to consider. You have to consider certain parameters, and in order to understand game theory or to reverse engineer it, you have to recognize that in order to accept the other side's arguments, you have to accept things that are just palpably very hard to believe. That is, for example, that Israel wants to destroy every Palestinian. We've heard Joa, we've heard Habiba say this ad infinitum. They keep saying their goal, and this person said
I
this,
didn't.
and they
I
want to
didn't
destroy.
say that, Yehuda. I said
Okay,
it's land. I didn't say it's the people.
can I?
Yeah,
someone else.
yeah, but you say the
Let me
slaves.
finish. Let me
Can
finish.
I?
Can the princess be Frida?
Hang on. No, hang on. Yehuda first, and then the lady from Clubhouse. Hey, Yehuda, go ahead.
Right. So when you ask the audience and you force it in a game
I
theory,
wasn't
there's
done with what I was
oh my
saying.
goodness,
Sphinx,
just let
please,
me
please.
finish.
Yehuda, go ahead.
Yeah, please go.
When you're considering the game theory concept, the parameter, the definition that you have to ascribe to the Israeli side is fantastical, whereas the opposite is true from the Israeli side. They are in the dominant power position. They benefit from peace. They benefit from a two-state solution. They benefit from all of those other secondary and tertiary effects. The other side benefits from death and destruction. And the only way you could actually, in a game theory concept, consider that Israel is what they say is if every Israeli is a bloodthirsty psychopath that wants to kill every Palestinian or steal all their land. And one is reasonable, the other one is very over.
All right, Habiba.
we're not,
Habiba,
all
it's your
we,
turn. Wait.
yes, fine.
Okay.
Okay.
So, on October 7th, an attack was launched. Who designed this game and who set it in motion?
Can we, like, can I,
It's a
because
very,
when I,
it's a
wait,
very
no, no,
simple.
no,
I'll
yeah, but
let
when I
you
wanted
say
to,
whatever. I'll let you say whatever you want to say. But
okay,
answer
so
this.
we,
On
the
October
reason,
7th,
yeah,
on October 7th, a
I,
game was designed and a game was set in motion. Who was the game principal, Habiba?
I don't like talking about things like about games like this because people have died.
This is game theory. It's just
Habiba,
it's a scientific
I can
discipline.
answer game
Yeah,
theory.
Joa. Okay.
Okay,
I
so
think
can I
On
just
the
reply
October.
to
premise.
the one
I think
part
the
of it, which
premise
is
is
to do
wrong.
with the actors and
Okay,
agency?
Habiba first, and then Joa. But please, Habiba, don't go on a tirade. It's not,
I'm
just
not
stick
going
to the
to.
game because you're
Okay.
advocating. Advocacy is fine, but this is not the purpose of this.
Okay, so in your assumption, you're talking about exogenous factors that are influencing an internal dynamic. What I'm talking about is that there is agency on the part of Israel and Israeli leaders in the IDF. It's not to minimize what's going on. People do have agency, from the President Herzog, who said that there were no civilians, there are no innocent people there, from Yair Lapid, the opposition former PM,
This
who
has
said
nothing to
the
do with
majority.
the question. I mean,
Yeah,
No, I'm
because
saying that
Habiba,
people
listen,
on the ground have agency
Habiba.
and they are determining this. They
Yeah,
are
let
determining
Habiba.
Joe
the
answer. Let
onslaught.
Joe answer, Habiba.
Habiba, the question is very simple for one reason, right?
Yeah, they have
I'm not
agency. It's not
I'm
that
not
they're
discussing I'm not
independent.
discussing I'm not discussing the preconditions. You understand all this. I'm not
I
discussing the
know.
conditions that led to the trigger. I'm understanding who designed the game on October 7th and who
So I'm
triggered it. Who set it in
yeah.
motion? It's a very
So
simple
I'm
question.
saying the parameters of the entire occupation are not. They're
Ignoring
not
initial
external.
conditions.
They're not. No, but
Ignoring initial conditions.
how
It's a
can you
very
do
straight
that though?
because that's how you simplify and
It's
build a
game
model.
theory. It's
It's game
game theory.
theory.
But on a meta
Ignoring
level, okay.
ignoring
Habiba, if you can't answer, let Joe answer, and let's move on.
No,
Okay,
it's
the
not to
question is
do with
this.
that. It's not to
But
do with that
Hang
because
on,
but
you're
Habiba, just let
everyone.
me
Hang on,
answer.
please, everyone.
you're
Let's
talking
go.
about a level. I'm talking about a game.
Habiba, we're
Yeah,
doing this. We're doing this well. Just focus, everyone, please. Let's give our audience actually something to consider. No one is attacking anyone here, and this is conducted in good faith.
I get it. But
So,
I'm saying that you're
Can you
talking
guys
about
hear me?
level. I'm talking about a
so the
game.
question is, ignoring initial conditions. Someone designed a game on October 7th for specific reasons, and they decided to trigger it. They called the shots. They launched a game on October 7th, a game within the game. Joa or Habiba, who designed the game on October 7th and who set it in motion?
I
Yeah,
think.
I go ahead, Habiba. Go
No,
first.
go ahead. I would have said it's a level within the construct, and that was determined by Hamas and external factors. But the overall game itself is dictated by
Thank you.
Israel.
You're right.
Okay.
Yehuda, in your opinion, the same question, ignoring initial conditions. Who designed the game, the mini game, the micro game, the level on October 7th, and who set it in motion?
Hamas, Iran, Russia.
All right, so back to you, Yehuda. That's the next question. So it's your turn and your team. Since you answered that Hamas is the game principle, why do you think Hamas designed the game the way they designed it?
In the game theory concept, are we using the example, or you want me to use a real world?
No. The way they did it, why they designed the game, they designed the attack, that level. They sent monsters, and they did what they did. In your opinion, they designed that game, that attack. By designing the game, I mean they designed this attack, the plan, the attack plan,
Correct.
and the attack execuation.
Right.
Why do you think they designed it that way? Why do they? What do they stand to win? What do they stand to lose?
Yoga, may I also help you?
I'll go first, then you can go. They wanted to drag Israel into a conflict that they would win based on engagement, not on end result.
Okay, Mariah, go ahead.
They wanted to stop the peace process between Saudi Arabia and Israel.
All right, that was the next question. So, Habiba and Joa, you said that Hamas launched this game within that level of the game. Why do you think, given that they are the game principle and they design it that way, because we have intelligence and we have proof that they told their fighters to go and kill as many people as possible, and we had proof that they told their fighters to go and grab hostages, and we have proof that they fired missiles indiscriminately without any guidance systems against civilian population centers, and every single missile, and I'll keep it to October 7th, I'll keep it to one day, every single missile launched that day, on that day specifically, is a war crime. So the opening salvo consisted of thousands of rockets, and every single one of them by itself, in itself, is a war crime, according to international law, that they are also using to protect them, or trying to use to protect them. Why do you think they launched the game, and to what end?
Let's talk about it.
Joa, Habiba?
Yeah, look, I agree with Mariah. It was to stop the normalization. The difference here is the boss doesn't get to hold the princess in front of himself while attacking him, because if he does, then the ultimate objective of the game, which is peace, would be destroyed, right?
But
So
the
yes,
princess for Team Palestine is Free Palestine, whereas
right,
the
free
princess
Palestinians.
for Team Israel is two-state solution and coexistence. One is going for a maximalist princess, and the other one is willing to compromise.
No, they're both.
I don't think
No, I
it's
think they're both
Question,
in
anything to do with
wait,
compromise,
that.
Em.
who's willing to compromise?
Ooh.
I don't think it was related to that at all, actually.
Why? That was your answer, and that was the other team's answer.
You gave
You
it.
answered saying Palestine, and the other team said the two-state solution and coexistence.
But you said somebody was who's not willing to compromise. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Your
Hamas
side, you
is
said
not
it.
willing to
You're not
compromise. They
being
say from the
neutral,
river to the
Enzo.
No, that's
sea.
not
You're
true. That's
not
not
being
true.
neutral.
Yeah,
No, I'm
you're
not.
not being
I'm being
neutral.
Not
neutral
at
here.
all.
I'm
Not at
being
all,
So,
neutral
Em.
so
here.
in the
That's
history
not
of the
neutrality.
conflict, Hamas has stepped up to peace deals more often. I've posted a thread from Dr. Zachary Foster, which demonstrates that Hamas has come to the table 5 times and Israel
And
has
yet they
reneged on
still
peace deals.
fire rockets.
Zachary Foster, you're really going to quote
Wait,
that guy?
how could you
Come
prove
on.
that? What peace deal did Hamas agree to?
I'm not sure who I'm speaking to. I'm sorry, guys.
Action, I can't hear anyone.
His name is Real.
Show us.
I real quick. Let me get one mic real quick. And man, I don't know about this game, bro. We you know what I'm saying? We might
You're
have.
liking. If you're not liking it, we can like. I have
I
2
have
more
a
follow-up
feedback for
questions,
you,
and we
Em.
can transition.
I don't agree with this thing that they were trying to break this normalization between Saudi and Israel.
One second, Habiba. Let's try to get this thing back in order real quick. Jump in.
Right. So the same question to Team Israel was asked, and they said that they want coexistence and two-state solution. When you answered, you said Free Palestine. What is Free
But that is
Palestine for you then?
that's coexistence, Em.
No,
That's
it's not, Joa. Yes, it is.
How can coexistence be achieved if it starts by war crimes and killing unarmed civilians at point blank, recorded on video, and
It's called
kidnapping people.
removing.
Again, if it's a level within a game, there was a game prior. Like if I look at the Oregon Trail massacre, and I only start there with the American Indians slaughtering people with their family in wagons, then I'm like, the Indians are terrorists. They killed everyone. Let's wipe them off the face of the earth. That's basically what Israel's saying. But then when you look at the whole picture, you can see what we did to the Indians. It's the same thing.
No, no,
It's
no,
a
no, no,
level
no,
within a game. Yes, it
no.
is.
I'll have Yehuda respond to that.
Well,
Well,
before he
so you
does,
hold on a
just one
second.
thing.
Hold on a second. You gotta
Just before
remember,
he does.
Joe. The game. The question was the game.
I said Yehuda. Yehuda respond
Listen,
to that, and then Lev, and then Habiba.
What the game theory proposition here has demonstrated is one side has said coexistence and peace, and now I think people understand why the term "from the river to the sea," Palestine will be free. They said Palestine will be free, so now they're trying to backtrack on it because the game theory principle was applied in real life, and they've realized that their maximalist view is actually counts out coexistence. It demonstrates to the audience, if you're thinking about it in game
You're
theory,
putting words in our
that
mouth,
Hold on,
Yehuda. We didn't say
Yehuda.
that.
What's
None of
Yehuda?
us
Go ahead,
said that.
finish.
One mic, one mic, one mic. Yehuda first, and everyone can respond. Finish up, Yehuda.
You're making it clear that in the using the game theory concept that everything that was started in motion, because you've all admitted that Hamas started this, they did it for one reason. It was nothing to do with peace or freeing Palestine. It was about murdering as many Israelis as they could to drag Israel into a war and possibly offset peace in the region. They're literally like you've literally painted yourself as Bowser's and you didn't even realize it.
Okay,
Habiba,
now
what's your
can you tell
response?
me what the Likud party
So I wouldn't
charter
Put
says?
words in our mouth. Like we never
I wouldn't.
said.
Joa,
These are
no,
your
no one.
words.
Also,
Hang
hold
on,
on.
Joe.
I want.
Okay, Lev.
So
Go
first of
ahead,
all,
Lev, and then
Israel.
Habib.
Okay, so
Lev first.
we
Wait,
say-
Joa, wait.
Real quick,
Joa, wait. Lev, then Habiba and Joa.
Let me take over. Let me take over. Let's get this game. We'll need to put some finishing touches on this game to really make it happen in these spaces. But let's get back to the bullshit. Let's get back to the bullshit. All right. So let me go to Lev, and then let's toss it to Joa. Let's get back to it, man. Lev, let's do it.
Thank you,
Go ahead,
Nelson.
Lev.
Thank you. So, the problem is that you asked a simple question, but nobody on the Palestinian side wants to answer that simple question. They want to divert. They want to go back. And Joa wants to change the game rules. You said that the game started October 7th, and that is the question. Not 2,000 years ago, not 45 years ago, not 74. October 7th. And all the answers you've been getting, nobody wants to give you a straight answer to say that exactly that it was Hamas who did it. They started the game. They wanted the game, and they started the game, and it didn't start before October 7th.
All right, Habiba, then Joa. Then we go for one last question, and then we hand it over back to Nelson. Habiba and Joa.
Israel has never accepted the idea of a Palestinian state. Every Palestinian actor has.
Except all of the different
Do
agreements.
you know who
signed.
Bill Clinton is?
I don't. Is
Sphinx,
it my
Sean,
turn or not?
Habiba. Yes, Habiba, please go ahead.
Okay, so every single time they've come to the table, they've said that they wanted peace. The actors on the Palestinian side have either been assassinated. Israel has never produced a map. It's never agreed ever to a Palestinian state. All of the negotiations, every single time that they've tried to ask for help, it's either they assassinated Rabin, they indicted Olmert, they assassinated the Palestinians. They've done everything they can to subvert the idea of a Palestinian state. The game is ruled. It's fixed. It's what is the word? The game has been gamed from the start. I don't even know what the word is. The Palestinians have never had agency in this, insofar as the Israelis are calling the shots. And so the time for the decision in terms of where the game is going and who determines it, the reason Palestinians are helplessly dying right now is because they have no agency and voice to be able to stop it. They don't have a way to control this. They don't have a way to prevent their own deaths. They
All
don't have a
right.
way to protect themselves, right?
Okay,
Can I
who?
answer? Can I answer now?
Like you
Joa,
said,
then Yehuda. Joa, then Yehuda, and then we go for one last question, and we hand it over to Nes.
Yeah, I mean, all you need to do is listen to Israeli cabinet members or ex-cabinet members like Ehud Barak, which was the ex-prime minister, who said Netanyahu never wanted peace. He never put up a deal that would be peaceful for Palestinians. Your own prime minister said that. Not us, not the other side, not some NGO. Your own prime minister has said that, right? So when you guys argue that, oh, Hamas rejected peace deals, your own prime minister said that they never put up a deal that they would accept, and it was that he never wanted peace. Like, that's
All right.
obvious.
All right,
Okay.
Yehuda, and then we
Okay.
close with one last question.
Right. So just for it's shocking to hear what Habiba said and Joa. First of all, Prime Minister Netanyahu is one prime minister out of 5 that offered peace deals. You can argue that he wasn't serious. That's fine. And what are you going to say about the other 4? To Habiba, just complete falsehoods. They've never produced a map. They've never wanted peace. They've rejected. They're the ones who brought maps. They're the ones who recommended peace. They're the ones who offered 98% of the West Bank. It's just not true. You can rewrite history in your own mind, but anyone listening can type in failed peace deals and you can read about it. Israel's offered peace on 5 separate occasions, and every single time the Palestinians said it wasn't enough, and every single time they keep losing. The fault lies squarely on those who reject peace deals, and then they complain about suffering that is often at their own fault, really. Thanks.
May I please add something?
Well, we're going for one last question here.
Just
Team Israel
I just
first.
think it's interesting that Joe would quote Epstein's good friend Ehud Barak.
It's fine. I mean, the video is there. Who was presented with a map in Oslo, in Cairo, and stood up and didn't sign the map. And when Rabin went to sign it, he found out that he hasn't signed. It was Yasser Arafat. It's not about Ehud Barak. It's not about Netanyahu. It's not
Who
about
killed
anyone.
Rabin?
This.
Okay, wait. Why didn't he sign it
Well,
though? Why didn't he sign it?
no.
Don't be disingenuous. Why didn't he sign it? Because
You
what were
tell
the
me.
5 main conditions that weren't met?
The Palestinian negotiators and the Israeli negotiators and the Egyptian negotiators worked on every single detail. And at the very last moment, when he was sitting down to sign the maps, he stood up and he refused and he tried to pull the plug on the whole thing.
But why?
And then,
Give us the reason
and then,
why.
and then he signed. And then he signed because that's what they have been doing. But I'm neutral and I'm not supposed to be saying this. The last question of the game is very simple. Yehuda, if I am the game principal tonight, do you think you were played into the outcome that I wanted to get?
Yes.
Habiba,
Yeah.
if I am the game principal,
Yeah.
do you think you were
Yeah.
played into the outcome that I wanted to get?
Yeah, because the parameters had nothing to do with the way I would have set it up. But yeah, it's a level, not a game. Yeah.
Back to you, Nelson. The game is over.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to the bullshit. All right. Oh my God, man. Listen, I mean, okay. I definitely see the idea of the game. I feel like there's ways we could tighten it up to really make it flow and be super entertaining for the folks listening. So I definitely like it though. I like the idea of it. Matter of fact, put a 1 in the chat right now if you guys like the whole concept of this game theory, sort of whatever for these debates. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys enjoy it. Put a 5 in the chat if you're still on the fence about it. And Em and I are definitely gonna, put some finishing touches on this goddamn thing. But real
Nelson,
quick,
can you change your sound effects? The guns are so traumatic.
we're
Can't you do
talking.
something nicer?
We gotta have the guns,
No,
man.
you gotta keep
No,
the
something
guns.
gentler.
We got it.
No.
It's such a male thing.
What about this? What about this?
Oh, Baghdad Bambi.
Laser.
I don't know
Move
who
to the
you are,
lasers.
Sean. Seriously, what? Why do you
You,
keep
you know
calling me
what?
that?
When I do this, you know what? I got a game for you. God damn it! Tell me what this sounds like. What does that sound?
Laser
a computer
rifle.
game.
No, that sounds like the Iron Dome. God damn it!
That's not even funny, Nelson. That's so wrong.
It's lasers, though, right? I'm sick.
Oh, you're taking the piss now.
Let's
Seriously.
talk about it.
Damn.
All right, Sadeh, jump in, man. Let's get back to it. Al SHIFA, hospital directors going crazy. IDF. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
Jump in.
First of all, Nelson, I just want to say there is a Palestinian Christian I highly respect from whom I learned so much in the audience. His name is Truth Only. I think you need a Palestinian person on stage. So if you have space, you can even replace me with him.
I'll jump.
I want that.
I'll listen.
Second of all, Habiba, I respect you so much. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. And M, that was not a game. You were not neutral. And for me, if you were to ask me what provoked this, what caused this, I would blame Netanyahu, who 2 weeks before October 7 went on UN stage, United General Assembly on September 22nd, and brandished a map showing Israel including Gaza and West Bank as Israeli territory, and that was clear incitement. So that's where I would begin October 7th story. If you don't want us to talk about
Cool.
the
So showing a
75
picture
years, that was clear incitement. So
in the
yes.
UN is so.
What's that? Let her finish, buddy. Go ahead.
Respond after.
So they finish up.
Yes, so I can copy you on that in case you haven't seen it. Every year in September, the entire countries of the world assemble at the United Nations General Assembly, and Netanyahu insulted the international community that created Israel in 1948 by breaking the premise Israel was created upon and brandishing a map that said the new Middle East, and it showed Israel. No Palestinian territories on it, nothing, completely, claiming West Bank, Gaza, not even, so they come here and pretend, even in the game, two-state solution, but that's not what their leader is doing when he goes in front of the United Nations. So that was a clear incitement, in addition to the many provocations happening
It's
in the
not.
West
I mean,
Bank and
Netanyahu.
blockade in Gaza.
Yeah, sure. Netanyahu is known for his posters, taking his posters to the UN. But let me tell you this: nothing, absolutely nothing, warrants the killing of 1,000 civilians unarmed at point blank.
And nothing
Absolutely
warrants 10,000.
nothing.
Nothing warrants 10,000.
Absolutely nothing.
And well, here's the weird thing: you use the word
That's
brandish.
why
You don't
Hamas
you don't
shouldn't
brandish.
hide under
You don't
use
brandish a photo.
civilians
You don't
as shields.
You don't brandish a photo. You show one. And if you think that incited Hamas, then tell me how Hamas knew this 2 years ago when they started planning. Did they have a crystal ball that Netanyahu would brandish a photo and it would upset them so much that they'd butcher and chop up 1,400 people? What you say doesn't make sense. They planned this 2 years ago.
Okay, for the record, do we know what the charter slogan is or state? And I'm sure you guys don't know, because obviously that would throw everything off for you. Do we know what it is?
Do we wait? Do we know what the Hamas slogans are? Do we know what the terrorist slogans are?
Tell me what the I asked you a question. Tell me.
Oh, well,
Don't
what does that mean with anything? What does that? Because it doesn't. What does that have to do with anything? Stop screaming. I could scream also.
You don't want to answer. That's the problem.
You don't want to answer because you don't know what you're talking about. You said slogans. There's no slogan like that. I think you might be talking about the charter.
Listen,
but God forbid you know what language is.
Shut up. You inbred. Shut up. I'm talking at
you inbred. Oh, you fucking hassy.
Yeah. Okay, listen. If you guys don't know what the Likud charter it says, then I mean, we have a problem there.
We know what the Likud charter did say when it was created as a response to the Palestinian Authority. They said, you're going to say from the river to the sea, we're going to say from the river to the sea. Likud prime ministers have agreed to a two-state solution.
Okay, since no one wants to say it. Between the sea and the Jordan, there will only be Israeli sovereignty. Okay? So
yeah, that's cool. That's good. Go for it.
I mean, Liberty,
Actually,
please,
it's even more than that. It says Jewish sovereignty over that territory.
Oh, really? So even better.
Is dead.
Pardon?
Okay. What does the Hamas charter say?
The Hamas charter was.
To mute out.
Sorry.
Guys, let's not hit that mute all button because I'm speaking from a secondary account and mutes me as well. Right. But so check this out. Okay. Likud charter. Yehuda. What is this Likud? I've never heard about it.
I can
Likud is a party that was created.
Wait, for Yehuda.
Likud was a party created as more of a right-wing party in Israel in the late 70s. It was made in response to what they considered failed Israeli policies to make peace with the Arabs after 67 occurred, when they offered peace, full land return for a peace treaty, and the Arab nations rejected it. Israeli society became disillusioned, and they created a party that's right of center in their charter in response to the claims of the PLO that said from the river to the sea we'll wipe out Israel. They said, oh yeah, well guess what? We're going to own from the river to the sea, and it's going to be our country. It was a poke in the eye, but it's kind of symbolic. It never actually happened in the sense that Likud leaders always, as soon as Oslo was signed, they realized that that's not relevant anymore, and there's a two-state solution. Whether or not you like Netanyahu, his party accepts a two-state solution. So what these people are doing, they're cherry-picking a point in history, but this is historical, it's not current. They're cherry-picking a point in history and saying, because it says that, we're allowed
No,
to be bad.
Yehuda. Okay, hold
That's
on.
what
Wait,
It's
they're
I
one
can
doing.
thing to
speak to
say
this,
it,
guys.
but it go.
Ladies, give me 1 second. I'll tag you guys in. Okay, just relax. Right, somebody get these ladies a goddamn Xanax, man. Especially Dana's ass. I mean, god damn.
Yeah, I mean, come
Fuck.
on.
Man, what you eat tonight for Thanksgiving, man? You got some
I'm
spice in
cranky
the motherfucker.
today. No.
I think I have to.
Wait, she got fucking hot peppers and chili and all types of shit. One second. So, Yehuda, you just said that Netanyahu wants a two-state solution, right? So I'm going to toss it at Abiba to talk about the Likud thingy because, again, I don't know about it. But President Trump and Obama have come out to say that Netanyahu was probably the most difficult person for them to work with regarding this two-state solution thing. They said he was fucking around the whole time. Never wanted
100%. 100%.
it.
No,
Right?
I was referring to the
But it
party,
kind of
Nelson.
goes against what you said, right? So
No, sorry. I
get
was
some
referring
clarity.
to the party, and I will agree with you. I will grant that 100%. I personally believe Netanyahu didn't want a two-state solution to work. He was forced into accepting it because those were international agreements signed. But I think he was more than happy to see Hamas rule Palestinians because he could always say, well, how can we have a two-state solution with a population that votes for terrorists? I'm not a fan of Netanyahu now, so I'll tell you that right now. Everything those presidents said,
Yehuda, he funded
I don't know.
He funded Hamas.
Let me finish. Let me finish. He didn't fund Hamas. Stop lies. He's definitely a person that has used his position to kind of demonstrate to the world that the Palestinians aren't fit to run their country. That's his goal. That's my personal belief, his goals, I should say. And as a result, though, he is bound by international treaties, and the Americans have a lot of power. People don't realize when the Americans say, hey, you're not walking away from this deal, the most he can do is sabotage it. So there isn't a world leader, I think, that likes Netanyahu. So there you go. The Likud party represents 35% of the Israeli population, and the polling at the highest number showed 85% of Israeli citizens wanted peace. That had to include the Likud people. So the party is different than the man, and the man needs to go, for sure.
All right, absolutely.
Okay.
Talk about it.
So I'm gonna just simplify what Yehuda said.
Please
Likud is
correct the lie, Habiba, because it's actually
Yeah,
documented
I'm
that
getting there,
he
Joe.
funded Hamas.
Joe,
Hold
let me
on.
Michael Habiba, bro.
Okay, so Likud is the governing party of Israel. Its charter, which it hasn't amended and is still operable, says that there will only be Eretz Israel, a Jewish state from the river to the sea. That predated Hamas's charter because Hamas wasn't even in existence then. So the whole phrase is about Jewish only sovereignty. They don't want non-Jews like Palestinian Christians or Muslims there. Now, the Palestinian side, on the other hand, and this is the governing party of Israel, right? So this is Netanyahu's party. This is enshrined in their charter. Now, the Palestinian description from the river to the sea is based on Palestinian people and who are the Palestinian people. They are Jews, Christians, and Muslims. And the call from the Palestinian perspective is for equality for all people from the river to the sea. So as King Abdullah in Jordan put it, he said the premise of justice, freedom, and equality between Israelis and Palestinians is freedom for all, whether or not they're Jewish, Palestinian, or Christian. And that is like, well, if you're non-religious or non-Muslim or any of these things, it's for freedom for all people. But again, the Israeli manifesto, the Likud governing manifesto, is about a Jewish supremacy from those particular areas for the entire area. And just to answer what just to answer what I can't pronounce your name, sweetheart. Sadeh was saying, it's not like that I was saying that it started on October 7th because I was contextualizing it as it was like a powder keg of the occupation and the ongoing ethnic cleansing and displacement that's been going on for decades. So I think it's more to do with that than what happened before or one map from Netanyahu. It's like a much bigger problem.
No, you're right. But I just wanted them to know that was incitement as well.
That's
Yeah.
not
Anyways,
incitement.
Nelson,
It's
they're
not.
grasping at straws about the Likud. No one,
But
no
like
one cares what's in the
you
Likud
can't just
charter.
point to him waving
Yeah, it's
one photo
ridiculous.
at the United Nations that he incited the
Oh
assault
yes, it
on
is a
Sean, is
Israel.
it
big
still the
deal. It's a
charter or
big
not?
deal.
One,
I see I don't get to
one
speak
second.
and everyone
One mic
else
on
does.
Liberty, bro. One mic on Liberty. Let's
One
go.
mic on me. You're saying it's incitement. Waving a piece of paper in front of the UN isn't incitement to justify the murder of 1,300 Israelis across the board, men, women, and children, and then trying to debate and argue whether or not that was okay. It's just nonsense. It's not incitement. It's a fucking piece of paper he waved
Sean,
around
is
and
it the
showed
Likud
people.
charter or not?
Are
One
you going
second.
to interrupt me or can I
One
finish?
on Liberty. Appreciate you. Let's go.
Yeah, but it's just this nonsense lying and disingenuous bullshit that they spread every time they get the opportunity and chance. They come out here and they be spinning rules and laws that don't really exist, that they make up on the fly or they try to reuse that don't actually exist, and they just say nonsense. It's just all bullshit. It's all
Sean, it's
bullshit,
the
and they know it's
charter.
bullshit.
It's literally
It's
in their
in the
It's
manifesto.
literally
no.
unimportant. It was in the charter. It's not there now. They
But you want to
changed
talk
But
it.
it's
about
They
still
don't
in the
care. They
you
charter.
keep
guys want to
making
talk
it
about a
up.
charter? You guys want to talk about charter? Let's talk about the Hamas charter, where they
Yeah,
specifically said
we
that
can
the greatest thing
absolutely
that
do that.
Habibi, stop. Where they said the greatest thing that ever happened was the establishment of Israel because now all the Jews are in one place so that they can kill them all. That's the Hamas charter.
So first of all, you deny that the fact that Likud's operative governing party wants to call for Jewish supremacy from the river to the sea,
But you know
literally in
what
their
they don't
terms.
say in there? They don't say kill all.
1 second. One mic on Habiba, bro. You gave up the mic. Habiba, go ahead.
Okay, so that is a genocidal statement. Okay, that is there, and I'm not arguing for Hamas. I am saying though that even Hamas, when it revised its charter, recognized 67 borders, and also
No,
Michelle
they
said that
didn't.
they did.
No,
It's
they
not that
did
they.
not.
It's not. Sorry,
Yeah, they did.
you haven't read their updated charter.
You
I
just
think.
make stuff up again.
What do you? I
They
think
did,
Sean
Liberty.
literally has no idea about Israel or Palestine, guys.
Baghdad, Bambi with their fake news.
Real quick, buddy.
I honestly
Listen,
think he doesn't know anything about the
you
subject.
too. You too.
I don't think so
Okay.
either.
Respectfully, guys. When I call for one mic on somebody, it's one mic on that person. Okay. Or I just might have to toss you down to the goo to take a little breather, maybe pop a Xanax, get somebody to replace your ass, so you can come back in 30 minutes. Okay. So let's get one mic on Habiba. When she's done, I want to toss it to Mariah. Okay. Let's go.
Sean, I think the problem with Sean is that he honestly hasn't studied the history. Look at an article
I
from
have.
Bocconi. He honestly doesn't understand either the Israeli side or the Palestinian side, I'm afraid, guys. So
I
if you
do.
look at, he honestly doesn't. So he's saying that Hamas
I can say you don't
never
all
revised
day.
their charter.
Liberty, bro. I will toss you to the goo quick. Respect.
She is calling me out.
Yeah, so he's saying that they never revised.
Yeah, God damn it. I mean, motherfuckers, it's Thanksgiving, man. You're not gonna give me a headache today. I'm sorry. Not gonna happen. Okay, Habiba.
Okay,
Habiba.
so he's saying that they've never revised their charter.
No. Go get his Zanny. Go get his Zanny. Okay. Go pop a Zanny. Okay. All right. Liberty. Are we good? Everybody woosah. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Now shut the fuck up and let me get one mic on somebody. Mariah, jump in.
Thank you. I wanted to say it before that when Hamas started, no matter when,
Is she
October
speaking or
7th,
am I not hearing her?
I am
She's speaking.
speaking.
She's speaking. Go ahead, Mariah. Let's go.
So they starting to call to the all Muslim world to join them, and basically the princes from the Mario game, it's Al-Aqsa Mosque. Al-Aqsa Mosque, it's the third holy place for the Muslim, and this is the game for the Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. And this is why we have all this hate from the whole Muslim world, and this is why everybody joining to attack to Israel all the time. And we saw like yesterday, that the Hamas leaders and also Abu Ovadia that calling to the Palestinian and the Jordanian now, and the whole entire West Bank. And this is why the Israeli army is working very hard in the West Bank and arresting people, because they are trying to make October 7 in the West Bank. And right now, the Jordanian wants to have a revolution in Jordan just because of Al-Aqsa Mosque. So this is something that no one mentioned here, and this is a big problem for so many leaders in the Arab world and in the Muslim world, that all the time people are going against their leaders just because of Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Joe.
And by the way, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, this is the symbol of Hamas, yeah?
Joe, please respond.
Yeah, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I just want to give a lesson before I have to run. I believe what a lot of Americans want to do is pretend that there was nothing that happened before. They want to look at the Oklahoma massacre or the Ward massacre, where Indians murdered people, raped them, burnt them alive, and did all those things, which did happen, right? And scalped them, right? Not realizing that we were then taught a revisionist version of what happened with the Indians for over 100 years. Even today, most Americans have no idea that scalping was actually a European thing, and that Europeans brought scalping to the Indians, not Indian. It wasn't a practice of the Indians before we got there, right? So everyone wants to look at it as, oh, look at what those Indians did on the Oklahoma Trail, and they murdered all these people. We need to destroy them, and that's the problem. Is it didn't start there. And we know what happened with the Indians. And if you look at the history of the map of Palestine, you can see the same thing happen. I am for a two-state solution. Hamas did commit war crimes. They should all be killed or arrested. I am not a Hamas sympathizer. I think there's a two-state solution, period. But you need to look at the whole region, because everyone needs to be held accountable, because it's an absolute mess what all the international crimes that get committed on both sides that need to be accounted for. That's all.
Joe, real quick, right? Real quick. Okay. Do you see the perspective from the other side regarding the fact that, hey, you wouldn't have 1 million plus Palestinians displaced? You wouldn't have, 11, 12, whatever the number is, 1,000 Palestinians dead if October 7th never happened. Do you see that perspective from the other side?
I understand that perspective, but then when you look at what's happening in the West Bank with the whole settler movement, right? But you look at the settlers, and that's not doesn't apply.
Joe,
right?
Joe, those are two different things. Apples, oranges, right? Two separate areas. West Bank, Gaza, right?
Yeah, even if I take it as two separate things, which I personally don't, but I can understand how someone would, right? I believe it should have been a law and order issue and not a military issue, and not displace everyone from the northern part of Hamas. Well, now they're setting up flags to mark off the property where they want to build their land.
Yeah,
because
but
I'd love to know if someone here, if they do take hold of northern Gaza, do you take back all the things that you've said? Right? Was it really just to get Hamas, or was it a land grab?
Joe, let's have a conversation, brother. Okay, let's have a conversation. Okay, because you seem like you seem like a guy with common sense. All right, October 7th. Do you condemn the acts that took place on October 7th?
100%, always have.
Okay, got it.
Nelson, sorry, there's a guy saying truth only.
Innocent people were killed.
He wants to join. There's a guy called Truth Only. He says he's Palestinian. He wants to join. He thinks that I'm controlling the room, but I'm not. So if you guys can accept him, I can jump down.
Bring him
I
up.
can jump down.
I'm going to jump after this, Nelson, because I have family over
down.
and stuff. So
I'll jump down, guys.
It's all good. It's already been taken care of. Calm down. All right, Joe. So before you dip out, let's have a little conversation. Okay, so you condemn the acts of October 7th. Do you agree that Israel is a sovereign state?
Yeah, Israel is a sovereign state.
Okay. Now, you do agree that, these individuals walked into a sovereign state illegally, killed innocent people from within this sovereign state. Illegal.
Right? I think this is where we disagree, right?
All right, tell me where you agree.
Yeah, it's occupied territory. They are basically in a jail. That's where we disagree. Right? They didn't walk into to me, I look at it as.
But calm down real quick, right? Is Israel a sovereign state? Yes or no?
Yes, Israel is a sovereign state.
Okay, the area of Israel that was, that these guys invaded, that area within Israel's defined borders. No disputes whatsoever, no questions whatsoever. That area that these guys invaded, is that within Israel's defined borders as a sovereign state?
100%. But Gaza's not a state. That's the problem.
Okay.
That's why we disagree.
But we're not talking about Gaza right now, though. We're talking about Israel. You know, my questions right now are just simply based on Israel, right? So based on your answers, we can both agree that these guys invaded Israel and committed heinous acts within Israel. Yes 100%. Or no?
100%. Yes, they did.
Cool. 1,000%. The guys that did that, are they called Hamas? Is this Hamas? Yes or no?
Yes, it's Hamas.
Copy that. Cool. Now, did Israel have the right to respond to Hamas for what they did on October 7th?
Through law and order, yes, they did. Per international law. Through law and order, they could. They couldn't declare war.
Okay. You're saying through law and order, they could not declare war? Is that what you're saying?
No, through law and order, they could. I mean, of course they have a right to respond. They were attacked, right? Absolutely. Through law and order, they have a right to respond.
Absolutely. Without a doubt, right? Okay, so first of all, I appreciate the fact that you have common sense because you're agreeing with, you know, we're on the same page right now. We're flowing in the right direction, okay? So my next question to you is this, right? Very simple. Do you believe that Hamas utilized human shields and hide behind soft targets within the Gaza Strip?
To answer honestly, Nelson, I don't know. Like, because I heard a comment of someone saying, "Oh, you know, injured Hamas members are inside the hospital, so it's a target," right? I mean, does that give the right for Ukraine to bomb a hospital that holds a Russian soldier? You know what I mean? I don't think it does, right? And that's why I'm conflicted on whether they use human shields.
I don't
because I haven't seen them hold up someone.
saying that.
You're actually the one who said it, Finks.
Joe,
I know that's what you're referring to.
Guys, I need one mic, okay? Joe, let's get back on track, bro. Let's get back on track. Joe, have you seen the damning evidence from the IDF, from international sources, news media, everybody, regarding those tunnels under Al-Shifa? Yes or no?
Yeah, there's tunnels. I think I'm still waiting for the evidence that they were active, but there were tunnels.
What do you mean you're still waiting for that evidence?
Well, I haven't seen, and maybe I just haven't looked hard enough because, as I said, I had family over. But from what I've seen tunnels.
Let me do you a little.
I haven't seen that they were active.
Let me do you a favor. I'm gonna do you a favor right now. I'm gonna pin something up top, real quick, and I want you to play it as we're having this conversation. I'll make it a little bit easier for you, right? This is a 10-minute video that the IDF put out. Give me a second. Should be up there in about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Up top. All right. Joe, do you see that video at the very top of the page?
No, not yet. It didn't come up yet. I'm sure it'll come up in a second.
You guys don't see it? Guys, on Twitter, can you see it at the top? Twitter.
Hasn't come on yet.
Hasn't come on? What?
It hasn't been added to the nest yet. It will take a minute until it shows.
Man.
Can I ask you a question very quickly?
No, because I need to respond because he's misquoting me.
Guys, I'm literally.
The video's up, Nelson. The video's up.
Video's up. I'm literally doing this for the audience right now, right? This is just a common sense, facts on facts kind of conversation. No bullshit. No fucking 75 years. None of that bullshit, right? We're just going common sense and facts. Okay, so Joe, I just put the video up top. It's a 10
this is the one I saw, and I watched maybe 7 of the 10 minutes of it.
And you don't think that looked like an active tunnel?
Well, what he said was the tunnel was sealed off a month ago, so I don't know if it was used or not. Like, I don't see evidence of whether it was used or not. That's the problem, Nelson. And
okay. Now, Joe, do you see the electrical lines? The electrical boxes that connect.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw the bathroom.
You see that?
I saw it all. There was supposedly a stairwell that was
so
bulldozed over. Yeah.
Let's focus on electricity in the bathroom, right? With the bathroom, in order to flush a toilet or in order to turn on a faucet, you need water, correct?
Correct.
And that water comes through water
Wait,
lines.
I'm not trying to interrupt. Nelson, I'm going to drop.
I
can't hear anyone, so I need you to bring me back up.
Okay. I'll bring you back up right now. And that water flows through water lines, correct?
Correct.
You do understand that those water lines are tied to the building at the very top, being the Al Shifa Hospital.
Right. We assume it's the Al Shifa Hospital because that's what they said.
Because that's what they showed us. They literally showed us this.
They didn't show us. They said it. They didn't show us.
Okay, can you give it to me? And we say this is Al Shifa just for the context of this conversation.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Now, electricity. Did you see the power lines in that video?
Yeah, I did.
And, for this to be a tunnel, the main source is definitely above grade, correct?
Yep.
And if it is correct that it is Al Shifa Hospital above grade, can we then say that Al Shifa was supporting the infrastructure of this tunnel when it comes to water and electricity?
Yes,
Don't
the
forget
structure, yes.
Don't forget air conditioning. Also.
Right? Yeah,
Air
yeah.
conditioning.
Joe, yes, we got a yay on that?
Yeah. The hospital, if the hospital's above, and we're going to assume that it supported electric and water for the tunnel.
100%. Now, in this video, when this guy was walking through, especially in the room, the white room where you had the little bunk bed still on the wall, right? Did you notice any cobwebs? Any rats? Any snakes? Any of that shit? Did you notice any of that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, now if a building, if anything, right, a cardboard box, right, hasn't been used or touched in years, won't you notice signs of freaking, cobwebs and all that shit? Wouldn't you? Yes or no?
Yeah, but Nelson, wouldn't there be conclusive evidence that it was being used? That's the problem I have. To be completely honest, I can't tell if it was being used when the hospital was being bombed or not. That's the problem.
For this place to still have access to water lines, access to power lines, to have air conditioning, okay, clearly supported by the infrastructure upgrade.
But it could have been a month ago, as they stated, right? Which wouldn't allow them to bomb the hospital.
Say it was a month ago, right? Say it was a month ago. What does a hospital need a tunnel for, right? Why does a hospital need to support infrastructure for a tunnel underneath that runs 300 meters long, 1,000 feet long? Why the fuck does the hospital need to support that?
Because there was a bunker there that was reinforced in the early 2000s. It was built by Israel. Then it was reinforced in the early 2000s. And Hamas, who's a terror organization, built tunnels to get to bunkers to be protected.
Okay, so you are agreeing that Hamas utilized those tunnels, correct?
Yeah, I'm just saying when. And does that make the hospital a valid target? And I haven't seen that.
It does, Joe, and you know it.
We're agreeing right now, right? We're on the same page. You just admitted that Hamas did or does use those tunnels, correct?
I said that they more than likely did.
Okay.
The timeline is the problem.
Okay, forget. You know what? I'll give you a month ago. I'll give it to you. Okay? I'll give it to you for the sake of this conversation, right? Why the fuck was Al Shifa Hospital supporting the infrastructure for Hamas tunnel as of 30 days ago?
Nelson, I think what a lot of people don't understand is
if you
look at the polls. No, I'm answering your question directly. I'm answering you directly. 20% of Palestinians support Hamas. That's all. Only 20%.
Joe, don't dance, bro. Answer the question.
I'm not dancing. I am answering you. Why is it there? Even the Palestinians didn't want them there. Do you understand? They are a terrorist organization.
Joe, you mind if I jump in?
1 second. No, guys. I need Joe. Joe, you are a man with common sense. Come on, bro. Okay. So again, I gave it to you. 30 days. I gave it to you. My point, my question here is this: why is Al Shifa Hospital supporting infrastructure for a Hamas tunnel as of 30 days ago?
Because they have guns, Nelson. They have guns. They are a terrorist organization. They have guns, and they will force people to support whatever they want to support. I'm going
to take that. Let me take that answer. Boom. I'm going to take it. Okay. I take that answer. So you are alluding to the fact that Hamas coerced Al Shifa staff to support the infrastructure of its tunnel, Correct?
More than likely, yes.
Boom. There we go. Now,
Can I ask you a question?
No, but that's the answer I was looking for right there. You see, we have to dance a little bit to it.
I want an answer. I want an answer for what I'm looking for, real quick.
But wait, let me just finish up real quick. I want to highlight something. Okay, so you've admitted that Hamas coerced the hospital directors in order for the hospital to support its tunnel infrastructure below grade. Great, perfect, awesome.
My assumption would be that
a couple of weeks ago, do you remember the SHIFA medical staff doing a press conference denying all allegations that they support Hamas or Hamas have tunnels and blah blah blah? Do you remember that?
We can't take anyone's on the ground testimony when under duress, regardless if that's a Hamas member at the IDF place or if that's a Palestinian in that's still with Hamas members around.
Joe, don't dance. Joe, don't dance, my brother.
I'm saying anyone that's under duress, you might not get the right answer.
Okay.
So you don't take that as evidence.
Check this out, though, right? When they did do those press conferences that were televised globally, right? Acting like they were victims, okay? Demonizing Israel for the claims they were making as to the fact that they were supporting Hamas and their tunnels, right? Where people jumped on these Twitter spaces, doing rooms, making posts. Shout out to Jackson Hinkle, Suleiman, Khaleesi, you know your goddamn selves, hyping it up that Israel's a terrorist, they're coming after innocent hospitals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Do you now see how that has been a problem when it comes to the information warfare? Joe, direct question.
It keeps.
I'm losing you. You're breaking up, bro. You're breaking up.
Yeah, it keeps auto muting. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bro.
Yeah, that's where it goes to my question, which is, if those tunnels were not in use for 30 days, is the hospital still a valid target?
Yes.
You gave me the 30 days.
Now check this out.
No, it's not.
That's not true. International law.
Guys, I need one mic. Let me answer the question. He asked me the question. Let me answer the question. Okay. I gave you the 30-day thing for the sake of the conversation. Okay. Go back 3 days ago. IDF released footage from SHIFA, CCTV footage. Okay. That showed Hamas bringing Israeli hostages to this hospital on October 7th. On top of that, as of 3 days ago, or however many days ago, when the IDF laid the siege on SHIFA, 4 dead hostage bodies were found in the area surrounding this hospital. Those 2 crucial pieces of evidence, right, literally take away your idea that Hamas haven't used this facility in over 30 days. Completely take it away.
Nelson, they had to excavate to get to the entrance. So the entrance was blocked.
100%.
Even they said it. So it wasn't
because
in
it's
use.
no,
And to me, to me makes it. Hold on, let me just finish.
Joe, let me just clean that up real quick. Let me clean it up for you, right? Hamas laid concrete on the access points, okay? Which is why they needed to excavate from the exterior in order to find an alternative way to get to the tunnel. Very simple. You lay
right. So if they weren't in use, then the hospital's not a target.
No, my brother. Dude, yeah, goddamn. Okay.
Bro, is that your response to every hospital and every target that it's not in use and that it was there before? They're running around and fucking Israel is just sending targets.
I can straighten this up with Joey in 1 minute.
Can I jump in? Can I chime in here, gentlemen? I'd like to chime in here, gentlemen, because I'm an actual Palestinian and Jonah's clearly not.
Buddy, respectfully, my brother. I mean, you got to calm down, relax. We got you. BZ, please jump in.
I'll be very, very brief. I have to go. Hello, Joa. Nice to see you. I hope all is well. Joa, do you have any concrete evidence to determine at what point those tunnels were or were not in use? Have you seen anything concrete that you could say that would hold up in a court of law? No, the tunnels were not in use. Yes or no, Joe?
The concrete, to use your exact words, the concrete.
Okay. Do you have any concrete evidence that would suggest or stand up in a court of law that those tunnels have not been used within 30 days? Can you say that and swear that before court? Yes or no?
Yes, the concrete. Zev?
What about other entrances?
My brother, wait, real quick. Joe, your answer as to the concrete is bullshit. I'm sorry, bro.
It's not bullshit. They were blocked in. They were sealed off.
It's actually up to Israel.
May I just finish this? Hold on, Truth. Can I just finish?
Everybody mute out.
Stop muting me.
Yo, everybody mute out. Okay. All right, BZ, give me 1 second.
Sure.
Truth, respectfully, please don't jump off like that on my stage again. Respectfully, I don't give a fuck if you're Palestinian. Don't give a fuck if you're Israeli. Don't give a fuck if you're American. Okay, when you come on this stage, please show respect. Raise your hand if you want to talk, and I'm going to come to you. All right, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Joa, your answer as to concrete is bullshit. I'm literally a real estate developer. I have multiple construction sites going on simultaneously, right? Someone can.
So is my dad. I understand about the poor concrete, but
so you understand it takes about 24 hours or so for concrete to cure enough for you to walk on it. Maybe about a week for it to cure enough for you to put heavy load on it. Okay, lay some paint on it, and it looks like nothing ever happened in that area. It doesn't take 30 days. It doesn't take a year. It's
but
quick.
I'm taking IDF's words, Nelson. IDF has come out and said that
words,
they've been sealed for at least 30 days.
IDF never said that, bro. BZ, jump in.
So, Joa, we've had this discussion before. You would concede the point that the Geneva Convention does indeed, provide a provision as to when hospitals can and cannot be used as military targets. Correct? Yes or no? Oh, well, can you just say yes for the people? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now, would you agree with me if I said that under Article 19, if a decision is made to attack a hospital, law requires that the attacking force notify the hospital in advance to allow them to evacuate and so forth? Yes or no?
Yes, they must notify the hospital.
Is there anything within the Geneva Convention which governs a temporal limit as to when a hospital can and cannot be attacked based on the amount of time that a terrorist may have or have not used the facilities? Yes or no?
I think if you read the law, you could try to make the argument that there's no temporal.
Thank you. My final question is you've answered the question because I've read it.
I get to finish. Zev.
You can't hypothesize. You can't. No. Well, you sort of are. I mean, you can't hypothesize. You can't opine on a law that does not exist, Joa. It's just that simple. And my final question.
It says it needs to be in use. So that is a temporal. It needs to be in use.
Now, in use.
Currently used. It has to be used by them. It doesn't mean used as in ED or future possible use. It has to be being used in the moment for it to be a target.
Okay, let's walk down this road together. The term used, what does the used term encapsulate and incorporate? Could it be used for storage facilities, or does it have to be used to launch terrorist activities, or is there any definition of used?
No, there's not, and that's where the ambiguity comes from.
All right, and my final question would be this. In regards to SHIFA Hospital, if international law requires that Israel warn in advance the hospital that they are going to attack to allow them time to evacuate, would you agree with me that by Israel warning SHIFA Hospital in advance, they fulfill their legal obligations under the Geneva Convention to warn them in advance? Yes or no?
Only if it's being currently used by terrorists.
Correct. So you would agree with me that if it was currently being used, and we don't quite have a legal definition of the term used, you would agree with me that if it was being used for terrorist activities, that Israel fulfilled its legal requirements under the Geneva Convention to warn the hospital.
If it's being used, which is what they need to prove, and they haven't proved yet.
I have nothing further, Your Honor, Epega. Thank you very much.
Let's talk about it. Jury is decided. I don't even know if that's right terminology for courts. Jury is decided.
Joe is guilty.
Joe's guilty as fuck.
That's man. It's fuck, bro.
Joe is looking at actual evidence and not pretending.
Yeah, but Joe's evidence comes from Hamas.org. I'm sorry, Joe, that's not admissible in this court.
Yeah, Joe,
Nelson, can I say something, please?
Yeah, let's do it. Jump in,
Okay.
Sphinx.
So what I wanted to say is, it's just not logical what Joe is saying, and I just it's almost not worth the rebuttal after hearing what he said about the tunnels. But I'm just going to say it for the sake of the people listening, because this is not for Joa, because Joa is Joa, and he's not worth the rebuttal at this point. But just to let people understand why what he's saying is complete and utter bullshit. Okay, the entrances that would be hidden via concrete, whatever, those are entrances that would be giving away the fact that they're entrances. That doesn't mean those are all the entrances. And the fact that somebody like Joa, okay, who's not military on the ground, who I'm assuming is not Hamas, I don't know, I'm guessing is not, thinks that he knows that the concrete closed entrances that that IDF has shown, that's all of the entrances to the tunnels. Like, that's not how it quite works. Okay, you can't close them with concrete. Okay, so it's hidden. It doesn't mean there aren't other entrances that are already
Sphinx,
hidden.
how many
No, 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 no,
entrances
no,
did they
no, Joa.
show?
I just want to say
How many
one more
did they
thing,
show?
Joa. I just want to say one more thing. I just want to say one more thing, Joa, because
Show the entrances that
no,
aren't
no, no,
blocked.
no, no,
Then
no.
they didn't do that.
You have been talking so much, and I just want to say I really hope that you listen to your clients, more than you listen to speakers here, because I actually, the part that you misquoted me, and you can retract it right now if you want, but if you don't, it's recorded, but I'm just going to tell you, I happened to actually write it down before I spoke that part. So I'm going to say what I said, which you misquoted. I said, having a tunnel system with an extensive base setup underneath a hospital is a strategic decision so that injured terrorists could easily get medical attention for their injuries. And I said, that's why it's another reason Hamas would position the tunnels and that infrastructure there. I never, ever, ever said anything about somebody bombing uh, a hospital because a terrorist was getting medical care there. I never said that. I just read you what I said. So you're actually a liar, or you really don't listen, in which case I hope, maybe look for a different line of work, because I know you're in marketing. But I'll take your clients. It's okay. But the other thing I just wanted to say is, for the people.
Are you the one that's been writing my clients? Since you keep mentioning my clients.
No, no, no. I just feel bad for you because you keep losing your cool, even though you're trying not to. But hold on a second. I wanted to just say one other thing with this comparison of the people who were killed on October 7th to what's been happening since. Okay, people are making a one-to-one comparison, but you have to understand something. When we say that Hamas is using Palestinians as shields, Israel is bombing Hamas targets. Are civilians dying? Yes. Is that a tragedy? Yes. Do you know what happened on October 7th? Hamas went inside people's private homes. Okay? It wasn't somebody holding a human shield. It wasn't collateral damage. It wasn't, fuck, that's a tragedy. It was, we're coming in your fucking house. We're tearing your baby out of your stomach. Then we're murdering your baby in front of you, but we're making sure you stay alive. And then we're going to fucking kill you. Because I've seen that video, Joa. And you cannot make a one-to-one comparison about innocent Palestinians dying, children dying, because Hamas is holed up underneath hospitals, and terrorists actively breaking into people's homes, fucking butt raping them. I've seen those videos too, okay? And passing them over all right, cutting tits off and throwing them around like they're water balloons, okay? This is not a one-to-one comparison. So get it together. Come
What are you
to
trying to say? A
reality.
Palestinian life is not as. Oh my God!
Shut the
If she were
fuck up.
serious, no,
Go
don't
take
tell
a
me to shut the
Xanax.
fuck
Oh
up. Don't
wow,
shut the fuck
wow.
up.
Yes.
Watch your
People
mouth.
Yes.
Watch your
hijacking.
mouth with me, you piece of
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
Watch your
Yes.
mouth with me. You
Anyway.
don't want to
Sphinx,
start
can
with
you
me.
tell me where you saw
Anyway,
the tit?
no.
Can you
Real
tell
Give
me
quick,
where
me
you
one
saw the?
video before you
Hey
real,
talk to me
Sphinx,
about this. Give me one
real
video
quick,
before you talk to me.
everybody, let me get one
I'm
mic.
just getting sick and tired of all this
I
bullshit
said,
bias.
let me jump in. Let me jump in real quick. Let me clean it up. Okay, cool. Appreciate you. Sphinx, appreciate you for jumping in. Dana, Susan, appreciate you guys for jumping in. Real quick, right? Let's get back to it. Because I think, the conversation with Joe, we were actually getting somewhere, right? Let's get back to
Nelson, can I make a comment? Yeah, and then I'm going to jump.
I just want to show you one
I'm
thing.
gonna end up reporting
Just,
this fucking account. It's absolute bullshit. That's what it is.
well, what account are you talking about? I hope you're not
This
talking about
account, because it's one sided. Truth's been sitting there for
what,
fucking
me?
hours trying to get his
Man,
word in.
respectfully, don't come on my stage disrespecting me. I haven't.
What it is. Let's call it what it is. Because I want to have
No. You got to calm the fuck down.
whatever. How about the men keep quiet
ma'am,
now? I want to speak now. How about that?
Get the fuck to the Google. Open the goddamn room and speak the fuck off my goddamn stage. You must have lost your goddamn mind.
Dude, what does she think she's gonna fucking win, man? That's crazy
fuck
as
you think
hell.
you are?
That was
She
crazy
ordered
as hell.
you.
She
I want
sacrificed
to speak
herself. Like
now.
she's gonna
I want to
lose, bro.
speak now.
Like real talk. The fuck?
Lady, get laid, bro.
Anyways, man, let's get back to it, right? We were having a really productive conversation, Joe. And by the way, Joe, I just want to hats off to you, right? I love the way we were going back and forth. No crazy talk. No, I really enjoy that dialogue. So just hats off to you on that. But real quick, Joe,
Nelson, I try to be fair. Like, can I just make a point before I jump off, Nelson?
For sure.
I do try to look at the evidence. I understand some people might look at it differently. I understand that there could be bias based on certain things. But for example, what was just said, the IDF has come out and said we have eyewitnesses of rapes, but we haven't been able to find. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but it says we have not been able to find physical evidence of that. Right? IDF has reported that. It's in the Times of Israel. You can look up the information. So a lot of people keep saying these things that there's no evidence of yet. Right? Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. But there's no evidence yet.
I've seen videos. I have seen videos with my own eyes. The second week I went to London and I was a group of people who saw videos that you have not fucking seen yet. And when you do, I hope you drop to your knees and pray for fucking forgiveness. I've seen videos.
Saying, why pray for forgiveness? I said they're a terrorist organization. I said there's
because
no evidence yet.
I have
Maybe
told
you have, but other people haven't. Apparently, you belong to the IDF
and you
in the
keep
international
pointing to
intelligence
things that
community,
aren't
and I'm
evidence.
unaware.
Sphinx. Joe has he's condemned the October 7th attacks. I don't think he's part of those people that are denying those attacks.
I've told him that I have seen the videos. And then they make the women pull their pants up and their pants, the blood is gushing down.
Yeah, but Sphinx, we gotta be able to respect, like he hasn't seen the videos, right? So I got to be able to respect his position when he says, okay, he hasn't seen it. Therefore, first thing people seeing is believing, right? You know what I'm saying? So we got to be able to respect it.
But that would also denote that everyone who has seen the videos, including people in Congress, the Senate, and the UN, who hate the state of Israel, who have said on the record, we saw the 47 minutes, we saw the women get raped, we saw the woman have her stomach cut open and the fetus pulled out. That would indicate then, Joe, by your logic, that all the people, even those who hate the state of Israel, are all lying.
Well, I'm saying give it to the IDF because IDF's saying they don't have physical evidence. That's all I'm saying.
They're not saying that.
The IDF approved that.
See, Joe, that's the nonsense. You say you want to look at evidence, bro, and you use your common sense, but then you go off with some crazy shit, dude. But Joe, but wait,
it's funny.
I don't. But Joe, BZ, Zev just.
But he has no problem saying those happened.
You do understand that this is an unwinnable argument, literally. Like you're not going to change anybody's minds with this argument. It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen at all. People
when it's public,
it want to believe it. It's just that simple.
If it's public, it can change.
1 second. Like I really don't want to go down this rabbit hole because we'll keep going in this circle constantly till we end the show, right? People don't want to believe it. People don't want to believe it. It's that. That's just it. Let's move on though. Let's move
Joe,
on.
would you want a video of your girlfriend or?
Nah, bro. Let's not do all that. Okay.
A quick
So here's what I
context
want to
for
do
the
right now.
tunnel.
One second, Dana. One second. Here's what I want to do right now, right? Because we're talking about the SHIFA hospital. Joe said he didn't have proof to show that Hamas still used that particular tunnel, right? Still conducted operations underneath that hospital. Okay. Now, Joe, I just pinned something up to the very top. These were the weapons and equipment found in those tunnels when the IDF busted into them, right? You have a cache of automatic rifles. You have computers. You have all types of shit, right? If these tunnels weren't still in use recently, why would we find all these weapons and all this equipment in those tunnels? Are you telling me Hamas just kept it there over the past 30 days or a year or whatever and just happened to leave them?
No, sorry to interrupt you, but there was also a room that there was bomb making material. They showed actual bomb making material in a special room that was off the end of the tunnel there that was currently set up for that.
Yeah, Joe. So, and again, right, when it comes to evidence, I just pinned it up top. That's it right there at the very top of the space. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'll wait for third-party confirmation. Like I said, I don't take Hamas news. I don't take IDF news. I will wait for third party.
I got it right here. I got it right here. I got it right here. It's right here. Just swipe right. That's from the BBC. That's from the BBC, and that was as of earlier today.
So, can I ask a question?
No, wait, no. Let's stay on here, right? So I put the evidence up. Just calm down. I put the evidence up. Okay, Joe said he needed third-party confirmation. Boom, I pinned the BBC situation up. That's a third party. Okay. Now, what are your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, if the BBC says there was weapons there, there was weapons there, and it's an active tunnel.
Boom. Now that you agree that it's an active tunnel, does that change your
But your article says the BBC didn't say it, and you're saying it is BBC, but the comments said it didn't.
What are you talking about?
I'm unsure. Well, the comments say, hold on.
That video
in the
that
comments they're saying that's not from BBC. The comments are saying it's not from BBC. I'll look into it, Nelson, and I'll give you an honest answer.
Okay. All right. Just look into it, and you'll see that what I'm saying is correct. That video is from the BBC. That was as of earlier today, right? And they've confirmed there is a tunnel under SHIFA Hospital. There were weapons. It is 300 meters long. Okay. And I mean, from the looks of it, this was an active Hamas tunnel. Now, this takes us back to the origin of this argument, right? If this was an active Hamas tunnel being supported by SHIFA Hospital, right? This whole idea that a hospital can't be targeted because it is protected by international law, the same international law says, right? And somebody quote me if I'm wrong, by the way, because I might be wrong.
Article 19. You're right.
Jump in. Break down Article 19, please.
Zev, if it's a war, right? Which
right. So Article
the UN
19.
Has also
Article
said
9. Article. Okay, so the Geneva
You're
Convention.
Something that's not allowed, though, Zev.
What is not allowed? What is not allowed? What is not? Okay, what is not allowed, Joe? You're not making any sense here.
They're not allowed to declare war on Gaza. They're allowed to use law.
They are not. They did not. So first of all, they did not. Okay, I will respond. They did not declare war on Gaza. They declared war on Hamas, which is the legitimate, democratic elected government of Gaza. Therefore, it is completely legitimate, right? If that hospital is being used today, the day before, the week before that, that hospital can, if it's being used for facilitating any type of terrorist activities, can become a legitimate target of Israel.
Zev, did Netanyahu say level Gaza? Did other cabinet members say we should nuke it? That is a war on Gaza.
Allow me to speak. Allow me to respond, please. I am interested in the actions on the ground, not the hyperbole of certain leaders, right? I could point you to a lot of... Joa, you need to let me finish. You need to let me finish. You need to let me finish, right? Joa, please.
You need to let me answer.
But Joa, you're very good at deflecting. But I'm going to just say this, and then I will be quiet. And you can. You're a master of deflection. At the end of the day, Netanyahu may have said this, he may have said that, but the actions on the ground are what determine whether or not it's a war on Gaza or a war on Hamas. Okay, hold on. I'm not interested in what people say. I can find you a lot of statements from a lot of leaders in Gaza, which are very, they're not only hyperbolic, they're inflammatory and so forth. That doesn't mean that they're anything more than words for the most part. But that hospital, okay, that hospital is legally, and you've conceded that point, Mr. Santos, that hospital is a legitimate legal target of Israel if they give proper warning. You've conceded that point. I don't know why you're trying to backtrack on it, Mr. Santos.
I'm not trying to backtrack. I said since the very beginning that they should have used law and order and not war because of international law. And the UN,
What does that mean, Joe?
has
What does
come
law and
out.
order mean, Joe? What does that mean? You keep saying that, but what does that mean? Not war, law, and order. What did you want them to fucking do?
Lev, it's the same. It's the same thing as if it happened in Denver. That would be law and order, right? They wouldn't roll in.
No.
Bomb the
But
whole
Joe,
Stop saying Denver.
Lev, hold on, Joe. What you're saying is completely. It's a fallacy, right? Because in Denver, if the entire population or the majority of the population of Denver, right, elected the people and supported the people that I know where you're going with this with the hostage.
But that's not true. But that's not true. You're making
Show me. Show me the law that says that's not true.
No,
Joe,
I
deconstructed this point 2 hours ago. Joe, I deconstructed this point 2 hours ago, and I told you.
First off, number one, they didn't win by majority, right? Second off, most
what
of the
percentage
people who
did they?
Hold on, majority of the people who are alive today in Gaza, only about 20% of them would have even been eligible to vote for Hamas.
Correct, and they've been under Hamas control, so they've been under Hamas influence. Yes, you're answering your own question. So most of them are terrorists.
Under a terrorist organization control. No. What,
Did you
Palestinians
just say
are terrorists? Is that what you just said?
Joe.
There you go, blanket statement.
Joe, the ones that are under Hamas control, yes.
Lev, one second. Joe, I've got to go to another Palestinian speaker, my brother. Okay, let me tag somebody else in. Truth. What are your thoughts about the past 5 minutes of this conversation? Jump in.
I'm going to be very honest, Joe. With all the respect in the world, you make a terrible Palestinian advocate. And I'm just trying to be kind here. Look, I'm an unapologetic Palestinian through and through. Because I believe in rule of law, and I take Israel at its word. If Israel wants to go with international law and the UN that established itself as a state, then they also have to respect all of the other laws. But it seems that there's one set of laws and one set of standards that only applies to the Jewish state, as they like to call themselves, because that's what they call themselves. So I'll call it the Jewish state. And there's one set of standards that apply to the non-Jewish Palestinians. Article 21 is an absolute. Occupations do not have a right to defend themselves, and the occupied have every right to resist by whatever means they so choose. Now, they chose lethal means. It's come out recently that in Haaretz, Israeli newspaper, came out and soldiers that were interviewed confessing that they felt terrible because they shot themselves. They shot their own people on October 7th. The concert goers were shot by an Israeli helicopter because they believe in the Hannibal doctrine, which means that they will kill their own civilians. Please do not speak over me, sir, because I guarantee you I can speak louder than you. They shot their own civilians. And this is actually in the Hannibal doctrine of the Israeli IDF military, and they make it public that they're scorched earth. So they shot trying to get the Hamas fighters, and they failed. And you know what? I do feel badly for those concert goers. Now, as far as the other things that were said in this space, they're just completely false. There's absolutely no video. And Sphinx, if you want to DM me those videos that you say that you saw of the woman being ripped open and all these absolute blood libels that you put against the Palestinians, that please feel free to DM me. My DMs are open, but I've never seen one shred of evidence that any of these things or these allegations that were made on October 7th came out. They're completely preposterous. Okay, so don't come into a space and make such complete blood libels, because you're going to have Palestinian blood on your hands for saying these things. And you're dehumanizing Palestinians when you say these things. Let's not pretend that Gaza is not a concentration camp, that every calorie that comes into Gaza for the past 18 years, okay, is counted by Israel. And that's why Israel controls the water. Israel controls what comes into Gaza, right? That's how they were able to cut off the water into Gaza. Now, Gaza has been called Bank of Targets since its inception. By the way, 80% of the people living in Gaza are from other parts of Palestine that have now lost their homes for a third time in their life. And it's not like it's the first time that Israel bombs Gaza. Israel bombs Gaza it seems like every other year. 2007, Operation Cast Lead, white phosphorus on kids in a hospital, burning them alive as they came in. And we've all seen the videos of white phosphorus. There's there's so much criminality here. You know what? I don't care if they had tunnels, if they didn't have tunnels. This is semantics that we're arguing here. I am a Palestinian absolutist. I reject the principle of Israel even having a right to defend itself. Israel does not have a right to defend itself. If Israel has a problem with the occupation that it's maintaining, then they should pack their bags and leave and go back to where they came from. Palestinians don't have that same ability. It was really interesting on October 7th to see the airport, Lid International Airport, by the way. That's what it's called. It should be called Lid International Airport because it's built on top of a Palestinian airport that was there in 1948. Okay? My father took his first breath in Palestine. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, we are Palestinian. We're not Polish. We're not Russian. But today, anyone who wants, from wherever they want, can get to come to what I consider occupied Palestine and live free and clear as a citizen of Palestine from Brooklyn, New York, fifth generation American, no problem. That really is the heart of the matter. There's one set of rules for Jews, there's one set of rules for non-Jews. And Israel is a country that gets away with whatever it wants. And it tells this silly little narrative. Who cares if there was a tunnel or there wasn't a tunnel? We're arguing absolute semantics here, gentlemen. Please, and ladies.
Truth.
The
Do you have
reality
access
is
to every
that
single truth?
Palestine
Let me
needs
just
to be free from the
let me.
river to the sea. And until I have the same rights as some kid from Polish kid that can go back to my own grandfather's house that was stolen from him in 1948, or my father who was born in Palestine has the same right as some kid from Brooklyn, New York, and he can go back to his original house that was stolen from him and his family in 1948, there will never be peace on this land. So I will say it again, free Palestine from the river to the sea. Either we're going to have equal rights, just like every Jew, and every non-Jew is also going to be treated the same, or we're not going to have peace. And that's the way it goes. And unless you're
All right,
willing to accept
real
that,
Let's
quick,
that's the way
jump
it
in.
goes.
real quick, right before anybody speaks, I want to go to M. I want M to engage this brother in a back and forth dialogue. But
Let me work with your agent here. No problem. Let me work with your agent, M.
Bro, he's not an agent, bro. We're just all here hanging out. It's Thanksgiving Day. Okay.
Please,
Yeah,
no
problem.
unfounded
I
accusations.
hope he's getting paid well.
If you
No
may.
problem. Go ahead, Agent M.
Let me get this mic.
Let's go, Agent
Truth,
M.
real quick. You gotta calm down with the ad hominems, my brother. You understand?
You use them all the time. You use them all the time, sir.
My brother, we've been very respectful to you since you jumped on stage. Gave you the microphone, talked for the longest. I mean, just calm down real quick. Okay. So my question, I just want to clarify something you said at the very end in regards to, Palestine to be free from the river to the sea. Are you insinuating a one-state solution where under a land named Palestine? Is that what your end goal is?
What I'm saying is that my father, who was born in Palestine, and his descendants, okay, and his bloodline, and by the way, my mother also was born in Bethlehem, and her descendants should be able to go back to Palestine. I want to take my father took his first breaths in Palestine, and I expect that he will take his last breaths in Palestine. And
He
that
wants
is
to
my
get rid
hope.
of the Jews. That's what he wants to do.
No, that's not what I said,
Don't
sir.
don't.
That's not what I said, sir. Please don't put words in my mouth, sir. Please don't put
Just
words
real.
in my mouth, sir.
I think real quick, I want because I really want to go to him. I just need a 10-second answer. So a one-state solution under what? An Israel or a
No,
Palestine?
a one man, one vote, and that people that wanted to play supreme man on the of the land can will probably want to leave because they're not going to be supreme. There are 12 million Palestinian refugees. There are
Wait,
three
what
generations of
what
Palestinian
do you
refugees.
mean?
Sir, I'm trying to answer your question. Are you going to ask me another question in the middle of
A
my
little bit
question?
confused. I'm just a little bit confused. One man,
Okay,
one
it's
vote.
not confusing. It's not confusing. It's not confusing because there are 12 million Palestinians living as refugees. My father is one of them. My mother is another one. There are three generations of people living in refugee camps in Syria, in Lebanon, all over the world, and they all want to go home. You have another Palestinian young lady here on stage, a real Palestinian, and she is also a Palestinian refugee. She should have her kids, herself and her family and her kids go back to Palestine. That's what we want. We all want to go back. We want to go back to the original houses that were stolen from our families in 1948. By the way, I have friends in Gaza. I have friends that live in Gaza who are also from Jaffa. 80% of the people living in Gaza are from other parts of Palestine. So they should go back to their original
You're not
houses that were
answering.
stolen. Sir, I'm trying to answer your question.
You're not answering me by going.
You don't like the answer. You don't like
Truth,
No,
the
take
answer.
it
That's
easy,
all.
man. Truth.
I
That's
asked
fine.
you, brother. That's not what I asked you, bro. You're
I
going on.
want to go home. I want to go to the house that
Yeah,
was stolen
I
from my
understand
grandfather in
that.
1948.
That's not what I'm
Simple.
asking you, brother. You got to calm down. That's not what I'm asking. You said that 10 times. That's honestly not what I'm asking. My simple question is this, okay? All right, you know what? Let's do it like this. Yes or no? Do you want a one-state solution? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. What is the name of the land that will house this one-state solution, in your opinion?
We
Just
can
give me the
vote
name.
on it. We can vote on it. Doesn't matter. That's
Just give me
semantics.
the
You're
name.
asking me semantics, bro. You're asking me semantics. We can vote on it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I can call it Kingdom Come. Let's call it Kingdom Come. I don't care what it's called. I
Okay.
want
You
it
don't care. Okay.
Jews, Muslims, Arabs, Jews, Muslims, Christians living in a land. Buddhists,
Okay.
if they're
Cool.
Palestinian Buddhists,
Yeah.
let them come.
No. Yeah,
Yalla,
we
tafadhal.
got it. I got it. Yalla, 100%, my brother. Okay, cool. So doesn't matter what the name is, but basically you want it so that everything's equal, and a Palestinian can be president of this land, right?
Whoever wins the election, right? One man, one vote, majority, right? Everybody, just like Joe
Equal,
Biden
equal,
got 81 million
equal
votes
right.
in this country. Yeah,
Equal right, right? Yes or no?
yeah, bro. Equal rights, like America,
And that's all
like
you got to
America, bro.
say. Yeah,
Equal rights, bro. That's it. That's
that's
it.
all I was asking, bro. That's all I was asking. Got it. Emma, please jump in. God damn. Talk about it. Emma.
Truth. Do you have access to every single autopsy report and ballistics report regarding every single
I can't
Israeli
hear M.
casualty?
I
If
think
he's
he
speaking,
double
I can't
muted
hear.
himself.
Mic check.
I can hear you.
Em, you're good, bro. We can hear you. Can't hear
I
M?
can't. No, I
We
can't hear him
can.
either.
Okay, Dana and
Okay,
Truth. I'm gonna
I can now hear. M, can you please speak up again because I
Mic
can't hear you,
mic
sir.
check. Truth. Mic check. Truth. Mic check.
all right, Truth. I'm gonna move you down real quick, bring you back up. Dana, I'm gonna do the same, bring you back up immediately. Just hit the request button immediately. Okay, so I can bring you guys back up. All right. Let's just
Can I
give him a
jump in
second to
real
get
quick
back
while
on
he waits,
stage.
Nelson?
All right, boom. So I got Dana, Truth. Hit the request button, bro. I can't find you. All right, boom. All right, cool. M, let's talk about it.
Truth. Mic check.
Yeah.
Mic check. Can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me?
could hear you now.
I can hear you now, sir. Thank you. Please go ahead, sir.
Do you have access to every single autopsy report and ballistics report of every single
Do you want
Israeli
to send it to me? Do you want to
casualty?
send it to me, sir? I'll be happy to look
It's
at
a
it.
very simple yes/no question. Do you
I'll be
have
happy to
access
take
to
a
every
look.
single
I'll
autopsy?
be happy to take a look at them. I'll be happy.
Do you have?
I'll be happy.
No, but do you have? It's a simple. Have you read every single autopsy and ballistics report regarding every
Have
single
you,
Israeli
sir? I'm
casualty?
sure
Yes
you
or no?
have. I'm sure you have, though. Can you please send them to me?
So the answer is no, and so, therefore you cannot make a statement saying that Israeli police killed their own citizens or Israeli IDF killed their own people because you don't have access to autopsy reports and you don't have access to ballistics reports that says that bullet came from that gun and therefore this person killed that person. You cannot make that claim. That's the first point. The second point. Do you know that when forensic teams go to crime scenes, they collect evidence and they take videos? Is that something that, for instance, American forensics teams do it when they go to crime scenes?
Apologies. Could you repeat the question again? The forensic teams?
Forensics teams, when they access a crime scene, they collect evidence and they take photos and they record video footage. Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
So if forensic teams accessing crime sites in Israel took videos and took photos, and those videos and those photos were compiled by the Israeli government and showed to government officials and diplomats, and those videos exist, but they're not being shared to the public to respect the memory of the fallen and to respect their families, that doesn't deny that those videos don't exist, right?
No, actually, it does deny that those videos don't exist, because we know that the Israeli government has lied multiple times on multiple occasions. So yes,
So every other government,
I'm extremely suspect of taking the Israeli government at its word, because it doesn't have a word. So yes,
so every single, so you are an American. You are an
I
American.
am
Do you
an
believe your
American.
president? Do you believe your president, the president of
No,
the
I do
United
not.
States
I
of America?
100% do not believe my president.
I haven't
1
finished.
billion.
I haven't finished my question.
I'll
I haven't.
triple. I will
Truth.
say
Well,
you
you don't need
with. I
truth. We
can
gave
say.
you the opportunity to speak,
Yeah,
and now you're
yeah.
speaking over
Thank you. I
everyone
do
else.
not believe my president. I definitely do not
Do
believe my
I
president.
haven't finished my
As an
question?
American, I can
Maybe
say that I do not believe my president. I'll say it again if you want to
Truth,
hear
can
it
you
again.
calm down, man? Truth,
Bro, let him
can you
answer the
calm
question.
down,
I mean,
please?
you got to relax, my brother. Like, I mean, calm down, bro. Go ahead.
you do not believe the president of the United States of America when he says that his
100%, I
intelligence
do not
community,
believe. I said
dude.
it again. I've answered your question 5 times now. Yes, I do not believe the president of the United States of America. As a matter of
Are
fact,
you
he was found
aware?
to be lying on this
Are you
point.
aware? Are you
He never
aware
saw the
that
video,
the
by the way. You're aware that he never
are
saw the
you
video.
are you aware that the Hart's article that you referenced cites Lieutenant Colonel pilot who is retired and who wasn't present and who wasn't part of the pilots who responded? Yes or no?
No, I'm not aware of that. That I know that
All right, I can
it's
do this.
It
I
was
can
not,
continue. I
and
can continue
it was
doing
not
this.
Erez. It was not Erez who was not on duty. The only other article available to the public regarding that specific pilot who said, yes, we shot our own civilians is from June 23 of this year, in which he said, I will not train future pilots because of the judicial overhaul proposals by Netanyahu. He was not on duty that day. He was not active duty. That's number one. Number two is use of white phosphorus. I'm sorry to go back because I do have to drop off, Nelson. I'm so sorry to interject it. Thank you so much for the space. Yes, the use of white phosphorus is illegal if used directly against civilians. However, you would have to prove that it was used directly against civilians. It is not illegal to use it in densely populated neighborhoods, so long as it's not against civilians. And thirdly, my final point is this. Truth, you sound like a lovely person. I was born in Israel. Okay? You sound like a lovely person. That being said, the notion that a one-state solution is ever going to happen will never happen. There will be nothing that will fundamentally alter the nature of the Jewish state. And I think, to be perfectly candid, the Palestinians passed up on too many two-state solutions, hoping that a better deal would come along, and a better deal for a two-state solution is never going to happen. And now they say, well, we'll just go have one big state. It will never happen. And there's just nothing else I can say. The fundamental nature of the Jewish state will never change. And I hope the best we can do is a two-state solution, but we have to be intellectually honest, right? You're not going to have a situation in which a Western, liberal, democratic Israel is going to contract its democracy or change the nature of its state or change
It
its
doesn't have a
name.
democracy, sir. Except it doesn't have a
Yeah,
democracy,
that's not
sir.
a democracy. I don't
Well,
It's
know
you
not
by
a
can
what
say
standard
democracy,
you're
sir.
assessing
you
it.
can say
It is
whatever
not a
you'd like.
democracy.
I
You're
appreciate
literally
it.
telling us that we don't. You have a set of rules for one people, Jews, and a set of rules for non-Jews, right? So,
Within the
like
sovereign
let's not
borders
kid
of within
ourselves.
do Arabs
Until the
vote?
right of
Do
return
Arabs
is
vote? Do
instated,
Arab citizens of
until the
Israel
right of
vote?
return
Yes or
is
no?
instated,
They're
until the
Palestinians.
right of
Let's get that
return is
right.
instated,
Do the
until the right
do
of
the two
return is
million do
instated
the two
equally.
million do the 2 million
If you can come
Palestinians
back,
who have Israeli citizenship do they vote? Yes or no?
sir,
Oh,
No,
Jews
it's a
get to
very
vote.
simple
There's
question.
one
It's a
set of
simple
rules.
question. Do the 2 million,
Do
20%, do the
the people
20%
that
of
under
Israelis,
occupation get to vote? No, they don't, right? So
they vote,
there's your answer.
what are
Do
you
I get a
talking
vote?
about? They vote, you vote
Do
for your
I
own
get a
elected
vote?
leaders in the West
Do
Bank.
I get a vote as a diaspora Palestinian? Do I get a vote in occupied Palestine? No, I don't.
You
Neither
have to take that up with your own leaders, right? You vote in Gaza, which was
the
made
right
crystal
of
clear by vote.
return of the
That's never
Palestinians
going to
is
happen. It's never going
absolute.
to
The
happen.
right of return of the Palestinians is
Hold on.
absolute. The right of
Beasley,
we're
you asked
never
a
going to
question.
apologize
Okay, they're
for
allowed.
asking for what is rightfully ours.
Okay.
But it's
What is
not
ours.
going to happen.
You
BZ,
said they're
BZ.
allowed to.
It will
What?
happen, and you watch it on TV. Just watch it
Your
on
mic,
TV.
meet your mic, meet your mic, meet your mic. Okay. All right. I really want to toss. Man, I really want to get involved in this debate, but at the same time, I'm trying to moderate the stage. But I'm just gonna say one thing though. Okay, I'm gonna say one thing before I pass the mic to Yehuda, and you can go back and forth with truth. One state solution that'll never happen in this lifetime, not even in the next lifetime. Right? Two-state solution, very feasible, and I think it should be pushed for. I think Western countries should even push for this after this whole situation with Hamas. Palestinians deserve their own states, without a doubt. But a one-state solution is a fallacy. Okay, Israel is a nuclear military power. Okay, a nuclear military power. Right? Israel is not going to just open up its borders, add the people in Gaza, add the people in West Bank, make them citizens, and give the potential for one of those individuals to be in control of those nukes. Israel will never do that in a billion years, and they don't
And you
need.
trust Israel to do that, though?
Wait.
We've seen their trigger
Calm down,
happy.
Dana. I mean, it's not even a debate right now. We just got to keep it real. Let's be factual. It's not even a debate. Israel will never allow that. Okay. I mean, Israel will rather fucking Christ came down on earth and blew up the whole fucking world before they ever let Palestinians get their fingers.
Are you referring to the Samson option, Nelson?
I know, that's what I was just going to bring up.
Calm down. Let me get one mic, ladies. Calm down.
I think, Nelson,
Okay.
you're just worried that they're going to nuke the U.S.
Am I done speaking? They already have the nukes right now, bro. We're not worried about them nuking anybody, right? Can't say the same for your ass, though. Letting Hamas get into power and shit. You already got a bad track record. Okay. So just keeping it real, by the way. So, anyways, that one state solution shit, that's just bullshit being spewed by really uneducated motherfuckers. That's never gonna happen in a billion years.
I guarantee you I have a higher degree of education.
Nelson, with all due respect, can I answer to you? Because you said
I got a bigger bank account than you got. Damn
I
it.
keep getting muted. What the hell's the point? I never got
Anyways,
to talk yet.
Dana, I promise I'm gonna come to you. I promise. I just want to just end off here. Israel would not allow that. But at the same time, I believe Western powers, the US, the UK, everybody needs to push for a Palestinian state. There needs to be a two-state solution in that region, 100%. Because this back and forth bullshit with Gaza and Israel and West Bank, there needs to be a stop to. We need to put a stop to this after this war is over, without a doubt. All this blood shedding is too much. Give the Palestinians their state. Let them do whatever the hell they want to do with it. Let Israel do whatever it wants to do with its state, and let's keep it moving. Okay, that's where I stand. Dana, jump in.
Okay,
Just
for the record, Nelson.
Sorry, Dana. Just really quickly, one last point to M about the president of the United States and me not trusting him. By the way, this is the same president of the United States that said,
I don't care. I'm not an American.
40
I don't
beheaded
care.
babies.
Listen,
He's
sir,
the same president that said 40 beheaded
sir.
babies. That he saw a video of 40 beheaded
I don't
babies
care.
that did
I
not
don't care.
exist.
I don't. That was not the premise of the question.
That's
If
the
you don't
same
trust the president
Yeah.
of the United, if you don't trust the president of the United States of America, and you don't trust every single,
he saw 40 beheaded
and
babies.
you don't trust, and you don't trust
babies.
every single,
Yeah.
and you don't trust every single European government that viewed the evidence, and you don't trust all the
all of
government
them said
officials
that
and
they
the
haven't seen
diplomats.
it, actually.
It's none of my. And you call me an agent. There's no point in
Thank you
arguing.
for
You can
the
have your.
space, Nelson.
Yeah, you can hold your beliefs and
The
defend
same
them. It's fine.
president that saw 40 beheaded babies. I don't trust him.
All right, real quick. Let me go to Dana real quick. Dana, please jump in.
Okay, just to pose a few questions, Nelson. You know what are the obstacles to peace, right? Why Palestinians don't have a state? Do you know what they are?
I mean, tell me.
Guys
Okay,
like truth.
Well, one of them is being that Israel has thwarted the possibility of a two-state solution by expanding its settlements in the West Bank. Now, do we think Israel is going to dismantle the settlements? Let's be honest with ourselves here. I'm asking the question for everybody on the panel.
I mean, let me real quick, because the U.S.
You didn't. Okay.
Real quick, right? This week alone, Secretary of State Blinken, Biden, they've come out to say that they're going to be issuing sanctions on a number of Israeli settlers in the West Bank. So my guess is 100% they're going to do something about it. The U.S. is going to force them to do something about it. 100%.
Sanctioning is one thing, right? I mean, dismantling is another. Now, you're right. They have to sanction these settlers because they've been displacing Palestinians in the West Bank, I think 1,100 to be exact, in 2022 alone. Okay, that's one. And not to mention, Ben-Gvir handed out assault-style weapons to these Israeli settlers. That's government-sanctioned violence, okay? That's another thing. So, again, what's preventing peace and why Palestinians, push for this one-state solution is because one state is going to answer to the problem of the right of return for Palestinians. And obviously that scares Israelis because there's this whole idea of the Jewish character that they're trying to preserve, right? Which has no ethical or legal justification for the maintenance of it. Because obviously it's supremacy. At the core of it, it's a supremacy law. So Palestinians don't care for that. We're not trying to say we want it just to be, for, a supremacy state for Palestinians. No, we want one land, equal rights for all. Okay. And I get it that, it's probably far-fetched for Israelis because all they see is this safety and security idea that prevails amongst everyone there, as if Palestinians have always, targeted Israelis or Jews for that matter. Which was never the case, because when you guys first immigrated to Palestine, we welcomed you in with open arms. And then you turned around and started displacing us, which is why Israel is a settler colonial project, an ongoing one. And the Nakba didn't just happen in it wasn't a momentary thing in time, it's ongoing. Ethnic cleansing has been a thing since the inception of Israel.
May I jump in now, Nelson? It's been
Let's do it.
Ooh, how to unpack it? So the previous individual who was talking, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Go ahead.
Previous individual.
Thank you for the space. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I've got to jump. Thank you, Nelson. Bye-bye.
Appreciate you.
Previous individual who said one state, he alluded to it. Obviously, the fantasy is that the maybe 200,000 Palestinians that are alive today that were in mandatory Palestine and fled for the most part, and some were expelled, that they and their grandkids and their great grandkids are going to come back to Israel. It's not going to happen. The original owners can get compensation for their land, just like Jews who had their houses taken by the Jordanians in the West Bank and on the East Bank of the Jordan River. They could get compensation too. It's just dancing around it. But there already exists a state where Israelis of Jewish and Muslim and Christian backgrounds vote equally in elections, serve in parliament, sit on the Supreme Court, all that stuff. Sent a Jewish prime minister, a former Jewish president, to jail, and it's called Israel. It exists. So if that's all you want, then hey, time to put the sign down and the flag, because you already got the state. It's called Israel. If you want to talk about a right of return of Palestinians to the West Bank and Gaza, I guess the maximalist Israeli view would be, okay, get your act together, make a state, stop fighting it. People ask, what do these people say that the Palestinians have rejected a state? Well, they have. Well, why have they? Well, it's very simple, because they keep thinking they're going to get a better deal. And they're going to get a better deal. And if we're not going to get a better deal, we're just going to force a one-state solution. The good thing is, I'm happy this individual speaking, this truth person, which is a little ironic. It's because it's the maximalist Palestinian point of view, and it's rooted in delusion, right? He can say all he wants about the history of Israel. He doesn't know, apparently, the Jews lived in Israel directly, continuously for thousands of years. They predate the Arab invasion of Israel and Judea. They predate Islam. They predate Christianity. The archaeological records in the ground are written in Hebrew. The Hezekiah's inscription on the Pool of Siloam, the aqueduct he built, is written in Hebrew. It sits in the Turkish museum right now. Now, it's not written in Arabic, all right? So the land, we know where the land's from, but it
There
doesn't
was
matter.
no Yiddish
It's not Yiddish, it's
in
called Hebrew.
Palestine.
It's
One
called
second,
Hebrew.
speaking.
Tzedek, get out of town.
I'm
The
sorry,
bottom,
Yehuda. If
the
you have to
bottom,
use
I'm
SPF
gonna,
one,
I'm not done talking. You spoke. You just please, listen and learn a bit. So the Israelis have a state. In their Declaration of Independence, they guarantee the rights of non-Jews in the land. You have 2 million Arabs in Israel. They vote. They pray. They're in government. We have Amir. I really wish I had Amir here. He's an Arab Israeli Muslim who comes into the spaces, and he would love to talk to someone like you. Bottom line is, they're here. There is an Israeli state. Your maximalist point of view just demonstrates to the audience how bizarre Hamas and people like you are, because it's not realistic. You're not going to get what you think you're going to get. It's delusional. And the problem is, the more people who think like you, the less chance there will be for peace. The best solution is where both peoples benefit, where there's a Palestinian state alongside the state of Israel, where there's relationships, where it's a warm peace, where people can get together. But if you keep living in this fantasy land that Jews don't have a right to a country, the Jewish nature of Israel is not important. It might not be important to Dana, but it's certainly important to Jewish people around the world. And you know what? Hamas, ironically, the people who support Hamas, you've just proven to everyone, even people on the fence, just exactly why the state of Israel needs to exist, because there are racist, psychotic groups of people around the world who don't seem to learn the lesson and continuously try, and in this case, murdered 1,500 people in a most brutal fashion. Ironically, Hamas not just sealed their fate as a terrorist organization, they've also sealed the fate of anyone who thinks that Israel doesn't need to exist, let alone it does exist. But now you know for sure it needs to exist, and it's because of people like you. So thanks for the help. Cheers.
Yehuda, where do you live? Yehuda, just out of curiosity, where do you live?
Okay,
You feel safe?
okay,
Because
hold
I
on.
know you're not in
Dana,
Israel, and I'm sure
Dana,
you feel
hold on.
safe.
Dana, hold on.
Wait.
And that's the
Who
beginning.
supports Hamas? Like, who supports Hamas? I'm
Real,
sure.
real
Like,
quick.
Nelson even
Okay,
confirmed that the brother said, "I condemn Hamas."
Now, I mean, my brother, you'll be shocked, man. Bro, we've been doing these spaces for like 40 something days straight. You got a lot of people who do support Hamas. Proudly say it on the stages too. A
Well,
lot.
if they do support Hamas, that's just disingenuous, right? Like, if you're truthfully for a cause of human rights and you want like actual world peace, you wouldn't support Hamas. I feel like anybody who does that is almost like they're almost like psyoping the movement. It's kind of like, yeah, no, like I want peace and I want like world rights and I want human rights. I also support like terrorists. Like, those two things are so contradictory. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm a working man. I'm at work. I didn't catch too much. But the brother who just responded to, I think his name was Truth. Truth made it very clear he was saying equal rights. I'm not too indulged in the like in the history, as you two brothers might be, one from Israel, one from Palestine. But what I'm hearing is that both of you essentially just want peace. And it's interesting that him saying that he is just not for the idea of a full-on occupation and apartheid, that makes him pro-Hamas. When he condemned Hamas, and that's not just on his words, that's on the behalf of Nelson that he condemned Hamas. So how is he a part of Hamas? He's the reason why Truth people
didn't condemn Hamas.
like he's a part of the reason why Israel should just keep doing what they.
Because
You
want an answer?
All
You want
he
me to
said,
reply?
like he said blatantly that Palestinian people deserve a right to land and they deserve a right to live. That's not a hot take, and I'm not going to say you didn't say that, but you're framing it as if he's pro Hamas and he's pro terrorism when he condemned.
He is.
No, let me respond. Let me respond to the fella. Thank you. I appreciate your honesty, and your honesty seem like a really polite person. So I'm just going to be blunt with you. You're not understanding the nuance of this. He's not saying that he wants a two-state solution. He wants a state where everyone he thinks deserves to be in Israel is there. We're saying there is a land for Palestinians. It's called the West Bank and Gaza Strip. They can have their country there. This has already been litigated. 1948 was a long time ago. The international community, everyone agrees and recognizes Israel's right to exist. Forget the historical fact. The Israelis, the first
2,000
Jews that
years
came
ago
back,
was also
the
a long
first
time
Jews
ago.
that came
Yehuda,
back actually
you.
purchased their land.
I'd
So
like
it's
to address
owned by them. They
Yehuda because
owned
you
it. They
addressed
bought
me.
it lock, stock, and barrel,
Yehuda,
bro.
you addressed
So
me. I'd
they
like
have a country. You can't work backwards
you
in time.
addressed me. I'd like to
Forget it's a
address you, sir.
successful country. It's got nuclear weapons, as Nelson said. It's not turning over its democracy to people like this individual. They obviously don't support the right of Jews to live in the land, and that's
That's
fine.
not
They can
anything that I
have their
said.
own country.
Excuse me.
So you can talk
Excuse me.
over
I'd
me,
like to
doesn't
respond.
matter. Israel's not going anywhere. And the sooner you realize it, the better chances for peace. Israel is not going anywhere. It's just that simple. It's not an opinion.
Truth.
It's a fact.
Listen, I'd like to respond. I was addressed. I'd like to respond because he's misspeaking for anything that I said. I said one state, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Palestinians have a right to return. The right of the Palestinian people to return to their land is absolute. My father is from Jaffa, Palestine. He was kicked out of his house in Jaffa, Palestine. That's the house that I'm going back to. I will take my father back to his original house that he was kicked out of in 1948 at gunpoint by the terrorist organization called the Stern Gang, the Ergun, which is the basically the modern day what Israel calls the IDF, or the Israeli Occupation Forces.
It's
We're
not.
not going to apologize for demanding our right to return. The right to return of the Palestinians is absolute, and that's the only
Yep,
way
you've said
this
that.
will
You've said that
be
Truth, let
about
me
resolved.
chime in.
15
Okay,
That's
times.
what I
Yehuda, can we
said.
But you
have a
want to
little
know
That's
back
something?
and
all I
forth
Hold
a
on. Let
said,
me
little bit?
reply
Yahweh.
to him.
Do not
Let
put
me
words
reply
in
to
my
Truth.
mouth, sir.
Truth.
Do not
Let
put
me
words in
reply to
my
Truth.
mouth. Do not
Listen,
put words in
Lev,
my
stop.
mouth.
Let me reply to Truth. Truth. If what you're saying is true and your grandfather and the story is legit, because Irgun and Stern Gang didn't operate in Jaffa, so I already know it's probably not
That's
true. But
not true. They did.
let's say it is true. Let's say it is true. Let's say your grandfather's house is there. Then I honestly, truthfully, and sincerely hope that in a two-state solution, the individuals who actually lived in what's today Israel, in mandatory Palestine, I sincerely hope you get compensation for the land that your grandfather had, and for the
And
majority
75
of
years
for the
of rent.
majority of Palestinians, they fled the land. So for those who fled and ran away, I get it. You were scared, and it's okay. You should get compensation for your land, and that's a fair deal. But guess what? He's probably not going back, and probably neither are you. You seem like a bit of a security risk.
Okay, Yehuda, can we go back and forth a bit? You're talking about two states. Let's be realistic here. Let's say that were to happen. We dismantle the settlements, and Palestinians don't get the right of return because there are some from Jaffa, as Truth said. You really think that there's not going to be any terrorist attacks? Because the settlements that you're dismantling, a lot of them are Kahanist disciples, and they're pretty
Yep,
extremist.
about
So
2,000. Yep.
okay, but I mean, who's to say? We don't know the exact numbers, right? There
They're on
could be
Israeli
people that
watch.
are
They're on Israeli watch list. They're
okay,
psychopaths,
but
and they're being watched by the Israeli government. Yes, they do have
okay.
a
So for
list
the
of them.
record, so we could agree that they're pretty extreme. And if we were to dismantle
Absolutely.
their settlements, what's going to happen? Are they going to accept the fact that they lost their home? They lost,
Maybe not.
Judea and Samaria.
Nope.
Okay, and then
But you know the difference is here, and I'll
it
tell you the
goes both
difference.
ways.
Let me tell you the difference. The difference is the Israeli government will be on them like the hawks. There are settlements that were set.
Yehuda,
There
I
were
could pull.
settled. Dana. Do you know the
Finish,
settlement called
finish.
Yamit? Do you know the settlement called Yamit in Sinai? You know it, right?
Go
Remember
ahead.
the
Yeah,
settlement?
finish.
Okay. Do you know it exists? Correct. It was an Israeli settlement in the Sinai, amongst others. They were filled with Kahanist types. They were filled with radical types. And guess what the Israeli government did? They sent the army in with batons and guns. They dragged them kicking and screaming. They put them on watch lists. They made sure they didn't do stupid things. And guess what? Ask M, how many Israeli terrorists have attacked the Sinai in the last 30 years trying to get land in the
But
Sinai?
Yehuda,
No, let's ask M. How many Israelis have done
Zero.
that?
okay,
Zero.
I honestly, I don't think
Whoa.
he's a credible source for me, to be honest. He's not like a freaking almanac
Because
right
he
in front of me
doesn't
that I
match
could.
your perspective, I
No,
guess.
I'm sorry, I don't trust another person
You
who's
know,
he's
I'm
clearly
tired.
biased. He's
I'm
clearly
tired,
biased.
Dana. I'm tired of people living outside of the region who keep telling me that I'm a Mossad agent. I'm not credible.
I
I'm a
never said
published
that.
analyst. I'm a published analyst. Who are you?
You could be biased. You could be
No, no,
biased,
no, no.
right?
I'm a
No. Hold on.
published. I'm
You're
a
human,
published
right? You're human,
independent.
right?
I'm a published
You are
independent
human, and you
analyst.
clearly
I'm
showed
not.
No,
your
no, no,
bias.
no, no,
You
no.
clearly
Dana.
We are
showed
not
your
that
bias
smart.
No, no, no. You
during this
haven't shown
whole
my bias.
conversation. Yes,
Actually,
you did.
I'm a,
Actually,
I'm
I'll
a,
keep that
I'm
Nels,
on
an
I
replay.
hear a
We'll put it
viral
on there.
independent.
video coming. I
Okay.
hear a viral video coming.
I'm
Uh-oh.
an
M.
independent. I'm an independent.
So
I'm an
me and Yehuda were
independent
having this
published
conversation.
analyst.
Okay,
Who are you?
congrats,
Who are
congrats.
you?
Don't worry about me. I don't like to give
No,
out my information.
seriously.
You don't have to know anything
Do
about
you
me.
have
You
any
don't have to
work
know anything
published
about
on
me. Yes,
security
I do.
along the region?
Yes, I do, but I don't have to tell you what
Have
that is.
you
That's my
ever
business.
worked in
That's my
counterterrorism?
business.
Have
That's
you
my
ever
business.
worked in
I've worked in
counterinsurgency?
intel.
Have you ever
I
worked?
have people who
Oh
work
my
with
God.
the government.
I have
let's go
people
with the
too.
Pentagon. Okay. شاطر يعني قديش بحالك I want to know قديش
قديش ايه
like
بس؟ انا مش فاهم انتوا بتتكلموا في ايه
Yes.
ولا بتحكوا في ايه ولا مصممين
قديش
تعملوا ايه؟
بحالك قديش 5 شيكل حبيبي قديش.
That's not a nice
So
thing to say.
okay,
How
anyways,
many shekels is
no.
he getting? That's not nice,
He's
Dana.
you know I said the 5 shekels, which amounts to $1. He sold himself for $1. But anyways, point being, Yehuda, I mean, my thing is, first of all,
Do you realize that every single one of you has been abusing me in DMs and replies and in audio for the last 5 hours, and
Please
I've
don't
never
play the
attacked
victim.
a
Just leave that.
no,
Just
it's not I'm not a victim at
don't give me a
all.
sob story. I
You
have
guys,
DMs too getting
no,
attacked,
hang
so I
on,
don't care.
hang on. And I haven't directed a single attack against every single one of you, and I'm focusing on deconstructing the points. I'm not playing the victim. If anything, my guy, you guys have been playing the victim since 1948, and you've excelled so much at it that you are doing it because you are
That's
just
what
getting
Gideon Levy
funded.
said. Yeah,
You fell in love with the cause instead of focusing on the solution. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's what it was, because the solution was very evident. I mean, we saw the Zionist manifestos. They said they wanted to destroy and replace. It's evident in their manifesto. So miss me with the bullshit, Em. Seriously, go. You sold yourself. You sold your fucking soul. That's about it.
And by the way, the only people that play the victim, the only people that have always played the victim, because we've all heard of the Holocaust. We I watched Schindler's List
Don't go
many
there,
times.
man.
I
Don't
watched
go
Schindler's
there,
List
man.
many times,
The Hamas
many
Don't
times.
go
So the
there,
only
supporter,
people
man.
that
the
play the
Hamas
victim
supporter.
and say that
That is
never
wrong.
again,
That is
never
Hold
true.
on.
again.
Don't go there.
What did
Don't go
Gideon
there.
Levy say? Did anyone watch?
Everybody mute out. Everybody mute out. Everybody mute out. Yo, bro, respectfully, don't come on this stage doing all that shit, bro. Don't come on this stage doing all that shit.
They're literally killing my people, bro.
Respectfully,
They're
bro. I
dropping
don't,
bombs on my people, bro.
bro,
They're dropping bombs on my people right now.
my
As
dog.
we
Shut
speak, they're
the
dropping
fuck up,
bombs on my
bro,
people.
bro. Shut the fuck up when I'm trying to speak, bro. Okay? No one on this stage has made fun of any bombs being dropped on your people. No one on this stage has physically dropped any bombs on your people. You can't come on this stage and insult the Jews on this stage by condemning the fucking Holocaust. What are you doing? You're being disrespectful. Respectfully, don't do that, bro. The same way I wouldn't allow anybody to do that shit to you. So don't try to justify that bullshit speaking when I'm talking.
They're justifying bombing a hospital.
Okay, hold on.
Fucking
Truth,
justifying that
They're
shit.
justifying bombing a
Truth.
Bro,
I've been having to listen to this guy.
He's just showing you
Bombing
his
a
true colors.
hospital. I've had to listen to this guy telling
you know
me.
what? You know what? Go to the fucking audience. You're unhinged. Okay. When you calm down, you can get back on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time in my space, let me tell you how it goes down. No one on this stage is allowed to talk shit about Muslims. No one on this stage is allowed to talk shit about Christians. No one on this stage is allowed to talk shit about Jews. I don't do any of that disrespect shit. Okay. Keep it on the individual. Don't talk about the populace. Don't talk about the group. Then you fuck up. Okay. And if you stay fucking unhinged, you're going to the fucking goo. I don't give a fuck if you're Jewish. I don't give a fuck if you're Palestinian. I don't give a fuck where you're from. Do not disrespect another group of people on my stage. Respectfully. Thank you very much.
Yehuda, we were having a good banter.
Okay, Dana, can I speak now, Nelson?
Let's get one mic on Dana. Then jump in.
Okay, just really quick. So aside from whatever, we'll move on from the state thing because you tried to get M into this and anyways, so here's another point.
I wasn't trying to get him into it. I was just trying to say that there are no terror attacks from Israel on Egypt. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I mean, Egypt is a different story, right? We're talking about Israel and Palestine.
Yeah,
but here's
we
my
fought
thing.
and we won, and then we had a peace treaty. We took back our land. Congratulations.
No, I guess, sorry, Dana, the point was, and I got to talk a little quieter because the kid's sleeping, but the point was that you said what would happen if Israel dismantled, very radical Jewish settlements, and I said they would watch them like a hawk, and that was my point. They've done it already, and they've demonstrated their ability.
I heard that point, but you do realize there's plenty of videos, which I've stated this before, and I think in the same room, where the Israeli military and police usually back these settlers. And there's so many video accounts of this. That's why it's like, please don't deny that reality. It does happen.
I didn't, but see, that's a difference.
I
didn't deny that reality.
I can't remember.
No,
Diana, there is 100 of videos. The IDF actually fighting the settlers. I sent you some.
Okay,
I
and
can.
I'll send you the others too, because I have the same. So we'll say 50-50 for the sake of this argument. How about that? Okay.
Yeah, fine. But Dana, can we address the other issue? I
Okay,
just said
so
you hold on. You
what?
did say that if there's a peace settlement, and you asked me in this two-state solution, Israel evacuates settlements, and you don't think there'll be terror. And I said no, because you asked me from the Israeli side, because the Israelis will make sure that those crazy people are not going to be able to do it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
I
that
mean,
important.
it's obviously this is imagined, right? Something that we can't say for certain for now. Okay, we could just
Okay, fair enough,
speculate.
fair
We
enough.
could speculate.
It
Okay,
is speculation, but if we go
but
by
it's just something to consider, right?
but
Because
it's
that
not
could
just
happen.
it's not just to consider. I've given you a concrete example of where the exact same thing happened, and the Israelis managed to stop the terror. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It already happened
And
with
then
Egypt.
okay, and then I told you that again. So where were the Israel? Oh, okay, here, back up.
So watch
I
this
just
in
wait.
Gaza.
Let me
Hold on.
let me finish. Yehuda, really quick. I just told you in 2022 alone, 1,100 Palestinians were displaced by Israeli settlers. So where was the
Yeah,
Israeli
well,
military and police then? Where were they?
I grant you that, and we're talking about a hypothetical where there's a two-state solution on the table. It's going to be legit. It's going to be real. The Israeli government has never, to this point, committed to evacuating the settlements in the West Bank. We just said if they did, then they would control them. And here's a perfect example for you. Let's make it personal with Gaza. When the Israelis went in, and you can watch the documentaries of them taking apart the Gaza synagogues and the Jewish communities there, and people were crying and some people were fighting. Since 2005, how many Israeli terror attacks from Israel, from Jewish people that lived in Gaza before 2005, how many terror attacks have happened from Israel into Gaza? That number is also zero, because the
You said
Israeli
before 2005?
from 2005 till today, till a month ago, Israel left Gaza, and they dismantled. They removed about 20,000 Jews from Gaza. When those 20,000 Jews were removed, they were resettled in other parts of Israel. Not one of them was allowed to or able to attack Palestinians in Gaza. Think about that for a second. They never got to the border. There were never Israelis saying, "Hey, I used to live over there in Khan Yunis. I want to go back." So what I'm just trying to say to you, it's trying to give you hope. I'm not trying to convince you, get you a gotcha moment. But if there's an idea where the Israelis commit to doing a thing, and that is we will evacuate Gaza 100%, they never allowed, it never happened that any Israelis tried to attack Gaza. So I'm trying to tell you that if they evacuate settlements in the West Bank under a premise, under the scenario of a peace plan with a two-state solution, I can almost guarantee you that there would be no Israelis attacking Palestinians in the West Bank. And I invite you to think about what I said and think of the examples I just gave you. I just gave you two real-world examples, Egypt and Gaza. So don't worry about the Jews attacking you. Just worry about creating the state, because people like you need to go back. People like you need to be a part of a Palestinian society. There are far too many Palestinian intellectuals outside of Palestine. You need to go to the West Bank. You need to be the leaders. That's what I'm
Okay,
trying to tell
well,
you.
can I say something about that,
Mhm.
Yehuda? I mean, that's pretty offensive to say, because there are a lot of educated Palestinians within the West Bank. I mean, throughout, honestly, historic Palestine. Well, just for the sake of this
Okay,
argument.
agreed.
Okay, but here's the thing: when you push people to a corner, they're gonna fight back, right? So, do we agree that this indefinite, unlawful military occupation is part of the problem, because it is unlawful at this point? You cannot have an indefinite military occupation. At
Sure.
some point,
Yeah, make peace.
international law.
Sign the
Okay,
agreements. Get your leaders to sign.
okay, hold on. Why? Oh, there's a reason why people don't sign agreements, right? There's something in the provisions or whatever they don't agree with, right? Because most of these so-called peace agreements, when Israel came to the table supposedly in good faith, they were still expanding their settlements in the background. So how can they trust these people delivering supposedly a peaceful settlement while they're still doing exactly what's part of the peace settlement? Like, they're going against it by expanding these settlements.
They're exactly the same way it happened in Egypt and Gaza. In Egypt, the Israelis still had people moving into the settlements, and as soon as the peace treaty was signed, boom, they were all removed. So you need to look back at the very recent history. Dana, you could have a state. You just have to believe in it. I don't think enough. And by the way, I didn't
But
say the
how do
word
we
smart.
believe that if we see that?
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
I just gave an example. First of all, I was actually complimenting Palestinians. I wasn't saying that Palestinians are not smart in Palestine. I was saying that there are far too many brain capital of Palestinian intellectuals outside of Palestine. They're needed to build civil society and NGOs in Palestine. That was my point. It wasn't an insult. It was a compliment. Number one. Number two, you have your answer. Israel has, in every instance, traded settlements for peace. Is it a good plan that they continue to build settlements? No, it's not. But I can tell you one thing. In every example where Israel got a peace treaty with Egypt, when they withdrew from Gaza, they never let their people go back there. And that's a fact. So I'm just saying, take the plunge. You have nothing to lose. You have more occupation to lose. I suggest, if I was a Palestinian, I would say, let's get that 98% deal. Let's give those security guarantees. Let's have international peacekeepers or Arab League monitors. Let's do all of that. Let's give them what they say they want. And let's get out of this occupation. We're on the same side. I don't think you realize it, though. Thanks.
Oh, hold on. No, that's not what it is. I mean, listen, I'm a Palestinian in the diaspora. I can't really speak for the Palestinians that have to live through that brutal reality. I've seen it for myself. I've seen what my family members have to go through. It fucking sucks. Why do you think I get so emotional about it? Because, the
And I hear
Israeli
your pain, and that's why I'm talking
yeah.
to you the way. I'm not discounting your pain. I want your pain to stop.
Thank you for
Being
acknowledging that we're going through a lot.
your family being miserable doesn't help me. Let's just say I don't even care about you. Let's say I don't even care about Palestinians. At least I would care for the pragmatism of not having terrorism or fighting or nonsense. And I think you need to realize there are a lot more Israelis than you think that are very much of that same mind. And I'd like to introduce you, and I don't want you to get mad. There's Amir here. Amir is an Israeli Arab Muslim whose own family lost land in other parts of Israel. And for some reason, he sees the beauty and the peace and the ability. And the reason why I don't like to talk about him too much is I'm afraid you might think I'm trying to quote unquote sugarcoat or whitewash something. But his experience speaks to the experience of 2 million Arabs in Israel, and they live in Israel. And hold on, it's a family talk. Hold on, Afsal, it's a family talk for a second here. He sees it, and he'll tell you it's not perfect, but it's pretty good, and it's getting better. So I would really hope that people in your position could look to people like him and say, can we trust the Israelis who are Jewish? And you might be surprised with what he has to say. That's all. I don't want to dominate the call.
Let him have a talk with her.
Okay, forgive me. Listen, okay, before I let him talk, forgive me. I'm going to say this, and Amir, don't take offense to this, but because I've spoken to Palestinians who live in Israel, they've told me themselves they're very limited on their ability to speak freely. Okay, that is a reality we cannot ignore, and they do live as second-class citizens at best in terms of their freedom. And I'm not going to say that.
Well, he's right here.
Living. Okay,
he's
but
right
I've seen it. I've been. Okay, when was I there? In 2019, right? I'll let you talk.
Diana, did you watch Ayman Audi today? Did you watch Ayman Audi today in the Knesset in Israel? How he talk in the Israeli Knesset?
No, I did not. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, he just said, okay, it's occupations, it's all the part of Israel, you occupying Gaza, shit that if anybody was saying like in some Arab countries, they will chop his head. This man just attacked the Jews, attacked Israel, attacked everybody. And he's like an Arab, how you call it, Knesset parliament or whatever. So yeah, we can be free. We free to talk, to say everything, but we're not allowed to support Hamas. Like, there was some people like Arab from Israel that they were talking about to kill Jews. Come on, seriously. That was the Shabak and the police fighting with. But if you support peace and stuff like that, nobody will arrest you. I'm talking like, most of the Arabs, like, even if we wanna like support the cause, the Palestinian cause, we could just stop working or something like that. We have a lot of doctors, we have courts, judges in courts. We are everywhere in the Israeli economy, even outside there.
Are you second-class citizens?
Okay, wait.
No, not at all. I have I have more rights from any Arabs in their own countries. Come on, maybe there is some races, I don't know, laws that I didn't know that they exist. Even they talking about the nationality law. So all it say it's like Israel is a homeland of the Jews. I know that since I was born from Deir al-Assad. So you know, guys, there was a big war and we lost. I grow up. That's it. I
It
lost
wasn't a
friends.
war, Habibi. It wasn't a war. It just goes to show you
Dude,
don't
there
know your
was
history. And I
Sykes-Picot and
question
all the Arab
now. I
countries.
question your
Wait,
credibility.
what?
To be honest,
Wait, what? Real quick,
no.
guys. Real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, catch us for part 2 tomorrow.
Oh no, you don't.
Ladies and gentlemen,
come on. I have a voice of like,
one second, my brother. Time's up for me. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow the speakers on the stage. Dana, give her a follow, by the way, man. I like her. She goes crazy. And definitely follow my brother M, co-host, Jonathan Bing, co-host, myself, Nelson Epega. Turn your notifications on, guys. Turn the notifications on so you do not miss the space tomorrow. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off in tonight's space. Ladies and gentlemen, fucking Afzal with his bullshit, regular. You know what I'm saying? Give all these speakers a follow, show them some love, throw some social currency their way. And